Well, hey everybody, how are you guys today? Listen, we got an interview. I'm going to start this weekly podcast of me and Haley and Renee just having a conversation back and forth, and so I think you guys will really enjoy that. So check it out. Here we go.
Still light shining through. So I put four up, and then you know it worked.
Well,
So
when I worked at BMW here in South Carolina, I was working 7:40 at night until shit. I think it was 6:40 a.m.
hmm
Oh, excuse me. I was
wow,
waiting for that. So 6:40 a.m. and then I'd get out and I'd have to go home, and I'd sleep, but I wouldn't go to bed till 10 or 11 in the morning, and then I'd get up at
hmm
5 o'clock, take a shower, get dressed for work, and just fucking do it all again, you know. And I liked BMW because I could work 7 days a week, 30 days a month. I could get overtime. The schedule was great because it was 4 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on, 4 days off, right? Then 4 days on, 5 days off. and then
wow.
it started all over again. So every month you got a week's off. Every month you get a week off, but you still work the regular schedule and get a regular
hmm
paycheck. It works out. It was pretty neat the way it worked out.
Yeah, that sounds
I was
that
making
sounds
bank. I was bringing home checks, $2,500, $2,800 fucking every 2 weeks or every week rather. I mean, it was great, But the problem was it was overnights, and I kept
mm.
trying to get on day shifts, and it was like fucking impossible to get on day shift. You know,
Oh yeah.
I hated working
It took.
nights.
I had to go from third shift to second shift to first shift eventually, and then I went back to second, and then they needed someone good, so then they brought me back to first. So
That's not a bad gig. I work 7 to midnight, roughly, is my shift. That's what I work here, 7 to midnight. So actually, I work like 3 in the afternoon to fucking midnight. But normally, I start like my streaming around 5:30, quarter of six. I get on TikTok, whatever, for an hour and a half, and then by the time 7 o'clock rolls around, I'll start my Twitch, and then I run Twitch from 7 until midnight usually. Um,
hmm
and it's really not bad. I mean, it pays the bills, and I mean, I brought in 7 grand this month, so.
yeah, that's good. Fuck. If I made seven
Yeah,
grand,
my
I'd quit
normal
my
months
job
though,
just like that.
but my normal months are 10K,
Oh, I
10 to
mean,
12 depending on the month. Last year in March, I made $18,149 last year. This year,
damn.
the income's gone down though this year, um, only because I can't do 24-hour shifts, right? Which I can't do anymore. They're just too hard. Because
Oh, I
I
know.
get to take everybody with me everywhere. It's like what the fuck. And so I do that, and then I just stream till fucking midnight, maybe 1 o'clock these days, and that's it.
when I did when I did 24-hour streams, I made them earn it. Like,
Oh, I
if
make
you
them
want to
earn
hang
it.
out for
Don't you worry
24
about
hours,
that.
oh, I'm sure you do. I mean, I've seen your lives before, like on Twitch, so like I
I make them
know.
earn anything between 8 and 10. So if you want a 7 o'clock, you're paying for it. You want 10 o'clock or 10 to 11, you're paying. You want 11 to 12, you're paying.
that's that's pretty smart. Honestly, it really is.
I use hype trains to my advantage.
Yeah, that's really good.
You should too, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know what your audience base is, but
well, a lot of them like that I game. Like, I want to get out into like doing kind of like what you do, but also still maybe game from time to time. Um, Obviously, like my main thing I want to focus on is doing music. Like, I want to focus on that. Um, and I've just been back and forth with streaming, like I said, because of me losing my weight loss, which I only have 19 pounds to go as of today. I'm so fucking
congrats.
happy.
That's awesome.
So, I mean,
Are
I
you
have
going
been
for gastric
busting my
bypass?
ass. No, girl, I've done this all like natural. Like, the only thing that my doctor gave me was like a suppression pill to like not eat so much throughout the whole day.
Not a bad
So,
gig.
I mean, but the biggest thing is when I started walking all the time and riding my bike all the time. Um, I have a trike over there that I used to ride every day to work. And then when it was nice, and then finally I was working so much, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm just gonna walk a little bit when I get off work," and that's what I did. I just walked, and I I started off at well, I had to lose 55 pounds in 84 days. That was my goal. Because when I went to my last doctor visit, uh, she goes, "How much weight you have left to lose?" And I said, "Well, I think I have like another 55 pounds." And she goes, "Okay, I'll see you in 3 months." And I said, "All right, I'm gonna lose all that weight by then." She goes, "That's a lot." And I said, "I know, but I think I can do it because the last time I gained 14 pounds and then I lost that 14 pounds plus 11 more within like I think it was like 3.5 months or something. So she goes, "You can do it." She goes, "But you gotta be safe and you gotta be careful." And she goes, "I want you to have one cheat meal a week so you're not like killing yourself. And you gotta stay hydrated. You got, like she gave me everything to do. So and I feel good. I mean, the only thing that sucks is I would just is like being so hot at work. That's like the only bad thing. But overall, like, I mean, I'm walking like 10 to 15 miles a day. Um,
How long does that take you?
I'm it rough. Well, if I walk like yesterday, I walked a little farther than normal. I think I walked like 14 and a half yesterday, and that took me like 2 hours.
Jesus, took me 3 hours to walk
Um,
8 miles yesterday.
well, but I've been doing this every day, and I've been like trying to like train myself, and I'm a pretty fast walker, but um it took me a long time to get like to where I'm at now. Like, I mean, I have a video that I'm making which is documenting from day 1 until day 85 or 84.
Wow.
And I think today is day 60 is 61. So I have 23 days left, and then so by the 20th that week I'm going to schedule my doctor, go back, and then I have one more electrolysis schedule, which next week, and then I'm done with that. So when I go to the doctor, she's gonna sign off. I'm gonna book the last surgeon appointment. He's gonna sign off, and it's time to go. So
And which surgery is this?
bottom surgery,
You had to lose weight for that.
yeah, because she want he wanted the surgeon wanted me at a certain BMI because I was like really big,
I'm at like
and
32 or something. I'm really high right now.
I I was let's see when well, okay, so when I had my first consultation for bottom surgery, I was like almost like 400, like 400 pounds. And
Wow.
then, and then, and then I ended up losing like a little bit over time. Oh, then I got down to 336. And that's when I decided that I was going to, um, do this like 55 pounds to hit the surgeon goal and then have him sign off. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it by August.
What's the goal
And
weight?
Uh, 280.
It's a lot
So
of
I
weight.
have another 19 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
So once I hit 19 pounds, I'll be at 280, and then he's gonna sign off on it, and because he's like, "We're ready to go. You have everything done. Get your last electrolysis appointment," and um, they have all my letters. I had to have like 3 fucking letters, which was crazy because before it was only two.
Yeah, why'd you need three?
But well, in Ohio, they updated the laws like with the gender affirming cares and stuff. So instead of having 2 letters, you needed one from a doctor, a therapist, and then a psychologist.
Yes, that's fucked up because like when people get like cosmetic surgery and shit, you know what I mean? The
Mhm.
regret rate for most cosmetic surgeries for cis people is 65%. 65%.
Wow,
You
I
know,
didn't know that.
yeah, and it's 14% across the board on like all surgeries, any type of surgery after that. But cosmetic surgery is 65% of most cis people regret having something done. And they're usually unhappy with the results, the cost, the way they healed, the care, something. There's always something,
Mm-hmm.
and yet trans people hardly ever, like less than 1%.
Oh, yeah.
It's less than 1% across the board. And so to hear that, it's like, I need a letter. Maybe the fucking cis people need letters, you know?
Uh, yeah.
You want to hear
I
something else
think.
interesting?
Yeah.
I read a study not too long ago. People that lost their penises or whatever due to cancer or some tragic fucking shit, yeah, whatever. And they all have some sort of phantom penis syndrome, to where like they can feel it, or they think it's there or whatever, right? All the
Mhm.
reported trans people, zero. Nobody has phantom
Really?
penis. Yeah, I get asked that all the time too, and it's like, no, I never have it. I never
Wow.
feel it. It's gone. It's permanent. It needs to be. It needed to be gone. But it seems that these people that are getting this done, these cancer treatments or whatever tragic accidents they have, whatever. I mean, shit happens. It's an appendage on your
Mhm.
body. It's hanging off. I mean, shit happens, right? So, people who lose it, they report having phantom penis, but trans people do not.
That is
So,
interesting.
yeah, I thought so too. I thought so too. Because trans people don't experience that. I've never, I'm post-op 3 years plus at this point. 3 years and a month. Well, 3 years and 2 months, call it. Um, no phantom penis, none whatsoever.
That's.
No regrets, no nothing. Just living my
And
life
isn't
like
it
I normally
crazy?
would.
Like when you see all these like social media posts and videos of people saying like, "Oh, trans." There's the regret for trans people is so fucking high,
But it's not.
but it's not because you know that's why this whole trend of detransitioners are going on right now, and that's all that people in the media use is detransitioners. They
But
don't
if you notice,
talk
it's
to
the
anyone.
same 10 or 15 people over and over and over again.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always the same 10 or 15 people. It's never, it's, like you see Chloe Cole. It's always Chloe Cole and some fucking guy with her or whatever. You never see anybody new. It's always the same people. And that's
Hmm.
because the GOP can't find more than 10 or 15 people at a time.
Hmm.
Didn't even want to talk about it, because like my big issue with detransitioners is they need to take responsibility for their actions. It's like every detransitioner I see that comes out, their constant complaint is, well, it's the doctor's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's peer pressure fault, it's my friend's fault, it's this fault. It's like, really? Because last I checked, you convinced the world that you were trans. Why can't
Hmm.
you take any responsibility to know who you are? You sought the care, you sought the psychologist, the psychiatrist, the psychotherapist, the doctors, the this, the that, the whatever, but you're blaming everybody but yourself.
Yep.
Now, I don't know about you, but I really wasn't able to walk into a doctor's office and say, this is what I want. I had to go a few times before I could even get approved for it. And the only reason that I got approved for it here in South Carolina when I went in with on the first visit was because I had prior transition experience.
Hmm.
I had transitioned for 18 months before, but I had to stop due to financial reasons. So I had to stop, you know, and it's weird to hear people say that, oh yeah, I walk right in the office and just stop prescribing hormones. No, you don't. At least I don't think so. Not that I've heard
When
of.
I when I first got my hormones, I had to do so many months of therapy, and
That's the way it should be.
yeah. And now the therapist I was seeing, he could have given it to me like on day one,
Of
but
course he could have.
I I chose not to do that, and I actually didn't. Well, I was not on hormones for like 6 months, and because I was still married and you know all that shit.
Unfortunately, I know the statistic of that only because I've been on that end. I wasn't married, but I was in a relationship the first time I transitioned, and I had
Well,
to.
that's why
I
when I was
lost everything.
that's why when uh I think I saw a clip on TikTok. I don't know who posted. If it was you or somebody posted a clip of you and Buck talking,
Probably me.
and I was like,
I posted a clip of him and I talking.
okay, maybe it was you. And I watched it and I was like, huh. Because I've always been really like eerie about him. Like
He's a
I don't
good
have
guy. He's
anything
really
like
not a bad
100%
guy.
against him.
Well, he has interesting views.
He does. I mean, there's a lot of things I do agree with him on,
Me too.
but
There's a lot of things
there's
I
some things
disagree with
I'm
him too.
yeah, there's something I disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
But I think kind of like when we were talking the other night and I brought up Hulk Hogan, you're like, "Fuck Hogan."
Fuck
And
Hogan.
and you're allowed to feel that way,
I
I
stand
mean,
by that.
I don't it does not change how I feel about you as my friend or a person. You know what
Well,
I
I
mean?
mean, I have a right to an opinion like anybody else.
Right. But nowadays, if I said that and then you're like, fuck Hogan, and then I would get offended because you said that, but I don't live in that reality. You know what I mean? Like that's whatever this delusional world people have come up with that, you know, well, you have to agree with someone. You have to, like if you follow this creator or you follow this influencer or whoever, and they say something and you're not sure if you like it or you agree with it or not, you know, if you get offended or butthurt, oh, fuck this guy, fuck this girl, fuck this streamer, fuck this musician. Like,
Cancel culture's
do
too
I
quick to
agree with what he
cancel.
did? Absolutely not. I do not agree with what Hogan did at
No, he
all.
spoke to
You
the
know,
RNC. He shouldn't have.
I mean,
You
there's a
know, he
lot.
had no business being in politics. He's a wrestler. Stay out of politics.
I'm gonna tell you, as a lifelong wrestling fan, I was fucking heartbroken when he ripped that shirt off and it said Trump and Vance. I was like, fuck. And then like 2 months later,
Disappointing.
I see Taker hosting a podcast with Kane and Trump. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And then I hear or I see Roman Reigns push something. My kids love Roman Reigns, so it's like, I'm just like, oh yeah, he's cool, but like in my head, I'm just like fuck him, like because of his politics. But like I also don't want to be that person because I want people to express themselves and how they feel and their views. Because I think, like I said, that's what makes good conversations. I think that's what the trans community and a lot of communities lately have been fucking lacking is just basic communication.
But
Like,
when
how
it
can we
but when it
not
comes to
talk
stuff
about this
like
shit?
that, right? So like this last election, right? It didn't come down to my favorite wrestler or my favorite football team. You know what I mean? This came down to like morals and like responsibilities as a human. Like
Hmm.
here's a man who is a 34-time convicted fucking felon. Brags about grabbing women by the pussy, grabs about walking in on teenagers during beauty pageants and this and that and whatever. We know he's on
Hmm.
the Epstein fucking files. We know he's a fucking rapist, right?
Yeah.
And here's people backing this fucking man up. He's not a good person, you know? And so when you
Right.
have people like Hogan or Kane or whatever, and they're supporting people like this,
Yeah.
it's unforgivable. I
It
I can't
is.
support or even forgive people for voting for him because of what it's done for me
Right.
personally. You know, he has this vendetta against trans people. I mean, he spent $215 million on anti-trans ads like the last 6 weeks of his
Yeah.
campaign. So if you
It
voted for this guy and then you claim that you're uninformed, I call bullshit. I call
yeah.
bullshit.
That and it's funny you say that because there's so many people now are like, oh, I regret my vote. Well, it's too late, bitch. Like you knew
No
what you were voting
sympathy.
for.
No sympathy.
Yeah, that's how I feel, 100%. And they're only doing that now because now this shit that's hit the fan with all these other laws that he's signed and bills that he's
Well, yeah,
passed and shit,
they're affecting
they're
them.
affecting these people. And so now, oh, I regret, fuck Trump. No, bitch, it's too late now.
We tried to
It's too
tell them.
late.
We all tried.
Yeah.
We all screamed Project 2025 in the top of our fucking lungs, every fucking one of us. I talked about it for the 2 years leading up to the election. And I still have
Mhm.
Trump supporters in my fucking audience. It is unforgivable, Haley. My
Mm.
brother
Uh,
voted for Trump. I won't even speak to him.
my parents voted for Trump,
I
and
wouldn't
and
speak
the
to
only
them
reason I
either.
know that, the only reason I know that is because I told my mom how scared I was that I've been working so hard towards this goal, like FFS and all the other shit I want to do later. That's cosmetic. I
I'll
can
just
do
go
that
out of country.
eventually.
If he outlaws it here, I'll just go out of country. I don't give a fuck. Fuck him.
Well, yeah, true,
I do all my
but
healthcare out of country, Haley. I don't. I won't do a fucking thing here in this country. The care is
well,
subpar. And I hate to say it, and I'm glad you're getting your bottom surgery, but whatever care you get is going to be subpar, and you know it. They treat
well,
trans people like shit here.
well. I know, but the the thing is that this this doctor or this surgeon that I'm with, he's like him and my regular
And I'm
doctor.
recording right now. Do not name that surgeon.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Just so you know, I just don't want I don't want the office getting 1,000 phone calls. So do not name the office, the surgeon, the hospital, nothing.
Oh, I won't. I
All
won't.
right.
Um, but so my doctor and then the surgeon, um, they have worked together for like I think it's like 10 or 12 years together. So before I even started looking, I mentioned it to my doctor, and that's when she said, "Well, there's this doctor. We know him. We've worked with him. The results are very, very good." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And so we ended up I ended up having a consultation. I said, "Hey, this doctor sent me, my doctor sent me." And oh yeah, yeah, I know her and all this stuff. And we ended up having like a really good conversation about like bottom surgery first, and then he would show me like the different like surgeries he's done. He showed me the results. He laid out everything. Like, I mean, everything that he said, like he was honest about, because I could tell when a doctor's like bullshitting me, and from what my doctor said about him and how they treated me, like they specialize in gender affirming care, in surgeries and
Which
helping
procedure are
people.
you getting?
Bottom surgery,
No,
SRS.
I understand that. Which procedure? There's a
Oh,
few
I'm
different
gonna get the full
ones.
depth. I'm
That's
getting the
not what
full
I
depth.
mean. Are you doing sigmoid? Are you doing peritoneal pull, penile inversion with scrotal graft?
Uh, I think I'm doing that one.
Okay,
I
well, no, I
I can't
ask. You
I
need to
can't
be,
remember.
you should
I
really
can't
be
remember the
informed on this one because it really makes a difference.
well, I know.
It's
I
it's
know.
an information thing. I mean, if you're
I
happy
have
with
all the
the
paperwork.
if you're happy with the overall results that you've seen from this doctor, that's great.
Mhm. Yeah.
I went to Thailand and God, Haley, I'm telling you, I get the best fucking care I could ever get. Honest to God, I dealt with the hotels that they're used to dealing with, um, and that was always good. They made sure I had everything I fucking needed. I was in the hospital for 6 days, complete 5 nights, 6 days, or no, I'm sorry, 6 nights, 7 days total in the hospital. They unpacked me on day three. They brought me a whole bunch of shit that I needed. I mean, they supplied me with everything, right down to the fucking donut. They gave me a donut pillow, they gave me pads, they gave me all the bandages, they gave me everything to clean myself. I mean, they gave me a giant fucking bag full of shit. And
That's awesome.
it was great. And the care, like when I sat down with Dr. Sutton in Thailand, I sat down with him. He gave me all of the risk, every one of them, you know. And the biggest risk of bottom surgery that scared the shit out of me was colon perforation. That was the
What's
biggest
that?
one that scared the shit out of me. That's if they're doing surgery, you actually have a risk of nicking the colon,
Oh,
and you
oh
get
yeah.
you get a
My
colon
doctor. Yeah,
perforation. Yeah, that's a big deal because you
yeah,
end up on a colostomy bag until you heal.
yeah,
And so of
yeah.
course nobody
There's
wants that.
Right. Yeah, I remember the surgeon did say something about that because
It's a
he showed
risk.
actually, I think it was a diagram or a graph or something. I think it was a diagram of, like where he's gonna cut and insert and make it into the vagina. And
The prep
th
sucks, by the
there's
way.
not much of a gap, like, from what I saw,
There isn't.
but,
There
so
isn't. And it's
but
it's 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 a big deal. It's life
but,
changing.
I feel that with as far as I've come, being transitioning for 6 years, that I feel like no matter what, I've come so far and I want to take that big next step, because I've had to go through my divorce, go through a bunch of shit at work and whatnot, and it's kind of held off my transition for a while. And and then my mental health was kind of getting fucked up, and I kind of just went away for a while, and um then I came back doing everything
Well,
again.
I know you disappeared
And
off of TikTok for a while.
yes, yes, for like 2 years.
Was it that long?
Yeah, yeah, it
Jesus.
was close to 2 years. Yeah. Uh,
Man, I couldn't even imagine.
my mental health was fucking shot. I mean, and I know I've talked a little bit about it on there, but
You should talk
uh,
about it. People want to hear about it.
I know, and honestly, I think that's why I've been so aggressive with my content lately. Like again, like I used to be, because I I really think watching that interview with you and Buck, like that really fucking did something to me. Like, eh, between your story and sharing, you know, the garage story, and then sharing, how you always felt that you had to uh cater to everyone's needs and to uh fit a certain mold and fucking image and make everyone happy, but meanwhile you're here feeling like absolute shit. And that's how I felt, and that's why that, like, resonated with me so fucking much. Like, I listened to that whole podcast, like, the from the start to the fucking finish, and I was like,
It's deep.
damn. I was like, this girl really did something to me. Like, she really inspired me. Cause like, you know, and I just don't think, like, we don't see that anymore. Like, we don't see other trans people lifting up trans people anymore.
No.
It's all about like clicks and views and fucking money. And don't get me wrong, that shit's nice. And if you can make a good living at it, hey, I'd love to do it someday.
Sure, but
But
look at people like Lily Tino, though.
oh yeah, yeah. But they're not trans.
Check this out. This is where I had to start right here. Like, this is where I started.
Wow.
That
That
that was me when I started. That was when I.
that is
Oops. Let me go this way.
it's so different.
That's when I married my wife. That was the day I got
Mm.
married. You know, and then
Oh,
when
that was the day you got married?
day I got married. Yep. And then when I
Wow.
started my transition, I looked like this
Okay. Okay.
because I was so stressed out.
Yeah, you can
And
tell. Like in your
yeah,
eyes and shit.
I was
Yeah.
just so stressed and I gained so much weight. I was 240 pounds in that picture.
Mm.
And you can see how angry I am just by looking at me, how bad my hair is. But you look at that picture and I look nothing like anything today.
Oh
I'm
my
like, I'm
god,
like a whole
same.
different person. It's crazy.
It's funny you say that because I worked with a girl one time, and she's Somalian, and she's one of my really really good friends now. And she said to me one night, "Haley, do you have TikTok?" And this is when my TikTok was like blowing up, and like I mean, a lot of traction. And I was like, yeah, I have TikTok. And that was at the time that my transition video like fucking blew up and got like 2 million views. And so that's when I was like, oh gosh, should I even tell her what it is? Because I was so scared. Like, I didn't know how people with her religion and her lifestyle and how they lived. I don't know how gay people, or especially trans people, were treated, you know?
Badly.
Um and when I gave it to her, she followed me, and I was like, okay, And at the time, that's when I was like educating people and talking about my transition and you know Q and A and all that shit. and she's I went into work the next day, and she goes, Haley, and I said, what? She said, who's this? And it was a picture of me before. She goes, is that your husband? I said, no. I said, that's me. She goes, Haley. I said, what? She says, you're so funny. She goes, Haley, you're all woman. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, only if you fucking knew.
No shit, right?
and, and and so then I said, really, that's me. Like, she did not believe me for the longest time.
Most
Like, she thought
people, well, I'm the same. Most people don't believe that was me when I show them. I have to pull up my
yeah.
tattoo to prove it. You know?
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, if you
look at the tattoo
like,
on the wrist, see the wrist?
yeah,
See the wrist?
yeah.
That's my only proof, really, is the tattoos.
The tattoos, yeah. Well, and here, I mean, like, your eyes don't change, you know. Like,
God, are you kidding? Take a look again.
no, I mean, like, your eyes, like your color.
Well,
eye
no,
color.
no, it doesn't. But take a look at the form of my eyes, my brows.
Oh, oh yeah,
and
yeah,
the
your face
bags
changes.
under my eyes and shit. Gone.
Yeah.
Estrogen de-aged the shit out of me. Seriously, it took 10 years off my fucking face easily.
Oh my god. Like, I'm gonna be 40 in October,
Girl, I'm
and
47.
people think I'm in my 20s now. You know.
I wish I was in my 20s. I'll be 48 this year.
Me too. Me too.
I'll be 48 this year. Oof.
I know. It just seems like time flies by so quick.
Ever since I started transitioning, time has just flown by.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm approaching my 5-year mark this year.
That is awesome.
It's crazy. I started in 2021, so in 2026 of April, it'll be 5 fucking years I've been transitioning.
That is so cool. Like, you've come so far. Like, I remember, like, when you first followed me, and I can't remember. It might have been like maybe after you, like, when did you start TikTok? Was it right after you transitioned, or
a few months after I started?
Okay.
It was so I started in April. I think I started TikTok around late May.
Okay. So it had to have been like, oh man, I know. I know you were one of the first people to follow me. Like, I know that.
I found lots of trans people on TikTok when I started fucking transitioning. I was shocked.
Yeah, I know.
I was shocked at the amount of trans people that there were. There's still a lot of trans people. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, there's a sudden blow up in trans people. You know, everybody started transitioning, blah, blah. I think COVID brought out a lot of wrong trans people. I feel like people just, I don't know. Like Lily Tino, you know, she's a great example of being a transtrender. You know, I don't think she'll ever get bottom surgery. I hope the fuck she never does, because she'll regret it, I assure you. But somebody like Lily Tino, you know, if you've seen like the messages and stuff that they've had, that were just, I don't know if you saw that video I put out where like they had a lot of messages from her, but they were like when she was part of this incel group, and they were just nasty.
I didn't like look into it, but I
Oh
did
my
see
God.
you. I think I saw that video that you made where you were like posting like screenshots of some stuff. Okay, I did see that.
Yeah, they were nasty, and she definitely was an incel.
Yeah.
But like Lily Tino, you know, she comes out during COVID, right? Oh, I found out I was trans during COVID. She, you know, how'd you know you were trans? Oh, I put on a dress. What?
You don't find out you're trans by putting a fucking dress on.
No.
You don't.
You don't.
You just, you know you are.
I struggled my whole fucking life with this.
Right. And like, people don't understand that. Like,
no,
it's not like we're like, oh my God, being trans is a trend. Let's fucking do it.
I don't want this.
You know,
I wouldn't give this to anybody.
If I had a chance to not fucking do it and still be happy.
Look, girl, I was well endowed. I mean, well endowed. You know, I was a good-looking guy. I had everything I needed. I was fit. I was in shape. I could do what I wanted. You know, I didn't have much problem getting fucking women. You know, I never had a problem getting women. And I didn't ask for this. What? These things are a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? That thing is a fucking cesspool. I don't fucking need this shit. I don't need this shit. No. Life was so much easier when I had a penis and male privilege and whatever. People don't understand what you give up to
Oh
do
my
this.
god, yeah.
And I found this TikTok a few weeks ago that really summed it up about like men and anal sex and like because we know that every man loves anal sex, right? We know this, but yet it seems it's gross for fucking two men to be fucking having anal sex, right? But we know that they don't really think that because like. There was this TikTok I read. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It was fucking great. It talks about how uh, anal sex and trans men or cis men rather, and how trans men have it fairly easy because they fit into the stereotypical man. I mean, even a trans man that like doesn't pass very fucking well is still a trans man. Matter of fact, it's right here. Here's the article. So it says, we know men love seeing other men's penises in erections, is what it starts off at. It caught my attention there for a second. It says, listen, hear this out though. It's fucking wild. Straight men acting like they think gay sex is gross is not believable. We know men love seeing other men's penises and erections. Now, while this seems like a statement that surprises you or many or whatever, consider this. In porn designed for straight men, semen coming out of somebody's penis is literally the money shot for men. So getting to see another man climax is the climax of the story for the straight male viewer, right? So men really like penises, not only their own, but other people's. Another factor that reflects the idea of straight men pretending that they think gay sex is gross is straight men's interest or obsession in anal sex. Based on hundreds and thousands of pieces of media, we know quite definitively that many men really like to put their penises in anuses. The first time I noticed this, the straight men's interest in anal sex, I'm reading from an article, bear with me, that it had become mainstream was when watching The Kingsmen. In that movie, there's a Swedish princess whom the main character, Eggsy, a straight man, wants to have sex with. She also wants to have sex with him, but she doesn't want to have anal sex. So he's really disappointed. But happily for Eggsy, once he has saved the world and is the big old fucking hero, the Swedish princess gives in to his request for anal sex, right? So I guess the idea is that he's earned the ultimate prize of anal sex. So how is anal sex the ultimate prize? Because again, men like to put their penises in anuses, right? And so the article continues to go on, and it says, to be clear, I'm totally fine if men want to celebrate and enjoy other men's penises, and honestly, I don't give a fuck either. So why do we bring this up? Because being grossed out by gay sex is a reoccurring justification that straight men use, is why they actually hate men, gay men and gayness. But as we've discussed, it's not believable that they're actually grossed out by it, because if it's not gay sex, then why do they hate gay men so much? Why all the homophobia? Now hear this.
Mm, that's pretty good.
Well, it goes on. It's good. May I humbly suggest it's actually misogyny. That their fear and hatred of gay men is actually based on the fear and hatred of women. Hear me out. I know I'm not the first person to note this, but I've just observed it so much lately and wanted to write down my own thoughts. Again, I'm reading, bear with me. It's not men being gay that bothers them. It's men being feminine. It's men reminding them of women with their voice, the way that they walk, the way that they gesture, their clothing, their interest, whatever. If you hate women seeing a man behaving like a woman, apparently triggers are all the same in the hate responses. In fact, if all gay men presented stereotypically masculine, I don't believe that homophobia would exist, and I stand with this article. A straight man learning that his coworker is attracted to men would think, I get it, penises are great. What man doesn't love anal sex? And then move on with his life without needing to give it a further fucking thought. So, in a related hypothetical, if a gay man didn't exist, but lesbians did exist, I don't think our country would have made progress towards lesbian rights. Here's why. I think that straight men who run our world would be incapable of understanding lesbians seriously, right? Or their rights. When told that there are women who are only attracted to other women, that only enjoy sex with other women, men would respond with some variation of, you ready? That doesn't sound real. Clearly, these women have not had sex with a man like me before. They just haven't had the right cock, right? And it's common for women not to enjoy sex. You hear men say this all the time. Nothing much unusual about that. My own wife hates sex. That's because you're probably making a fucking chore for him. But I do like imagining women having sex together as long as they get to observe. I'm not threatened by this lesbianism, and I'm not worried about it, but obviously it's not something I'm going to take seriously. Women want the right to marry each other. Well, that's just silly. Of course, that's not possible, right? Lesbians not being able to marry would get chalked up as just another crappy thing about being a woman. And if that's lesbianism was even acknowledged by men and chained in charge as being even a real thing. So when we look at pro-queer policies that have been implemented, like nationwide gay marriage, it sure seems like it was accomplished by sending the most straight arrow seeming gay man to present this cause in Washington. Those straight seeming fucking perfect straight perfect men that seem like they're that are so darn straight that straight men politicians were willing to listen to them, to acknowledge their issue and conclude, we're not so different. Penises are great. And what man doesn't love anal sex? So, if the gay community had seriously flamboyant, had sent an only flamboyant, effeminate gay to DC, would they have accomplished this same progress? Probably not. Along those lines, Pete Buttigieg can run for president, and the straight men don't even seem bothered. Because even though he is gay, he does seem pretty fucking straight. And I will concur with that. How about Pete's husband, though? Would straight men be bothered if Chasten, who has apparently taken on the role of supportive wife and a doting mother, ran for office? How would they feel? Right? So there's nothing more offensive to cis men than the existence of trans women. This is where this is all boiling down to. We can see the hatred of women masquerading as hatred of gay men really clearly when we look at the response to trans women and trans men. In our culture, there is little to no pushback from cis men against trans men. Now, I want to be clear, and I stand with this article as well. I don't want to imply that trans men have it easier, just that their political fights about things like bathrooms and sports, trans women are the focus, not trans men. Partially, I think it's because in our society, it's easier for trans men to present as cis men. And cultural indicators of masculine are pretty straightforward, right? A person with a beard wearing clothing from a men's department is perceived as a man. Even if they have a small physical stature, a higher voice, doesn't matter. We all know that cis men who are petite, not muscly, and we never doubt that they're actually men, right? So beyond that, I don't think cis men push back against trans men because cis men seem to think that Freud's quote, penis envy, is actually a real thing. They believe that men are the most superior beings, that they can, being a man puts you on the top of the social structure, and we know this. Who wouldn't want to be a man? So to them, the existence of trans men actually makes logical sense. Now compare that to the response of trans women. There's nothing more offensive to a cis man than the existence of trans women. Here's a person who was born with a penis, who's at the top of their social order, who gets a better job and promotions. We always earned more money, who can be in charge of things, bigger and stronger. And we want to reject all of that? We don't even want our penises anymore? But what could be better than having a penis, right? Even the worst mind of a cis man, they're rejecting the option of living as a man in order to be as a man in order to be a disgusting, horrible creature, a woman, right? It's unfathomable to a cis man. Why would anyone choose to be a woman, right? And here's why. Women are objects of pity and shame. Women are weak, whiny, dumb, fake, right? They lie, they bleed every month, and they're basically just a set of holes for men. And the only thing that they're good at beyond screwing is being a fucking servant. Cleaning, cooking, child rearing, laundry, etc. What could be worse than being a woman? They hate trans women because they hate all women. They're going to hate women no matter what. But a woman who knows what it's like to live life as a man and actually rejected that, well, I suppose that's just too much for a cis man to fucking even comprehend or wrap his brain around. Do I think that all cis men hate women? No. And I stand with this article on that as well. Absolutely not. Do I think that they're all weak, whiny, and dumb? No. I know that all cis men do not think this way about women. But I can also say that because we live in a patriarchy, all cis men know that women are considered the weaker sex. Women are treated as second class citizens, they have less rights, and depending on the color of their skin, they might even have less rights than other women. And not just cis men. Everybody knows the reality for women, which means that it's no surprise that even a cis man who doesn't outright hate women would still think it's better to be a man, that being women or a woman is a net negative. Because women are second class citizens. Any behaviors or aspects associated with women are also second class. Our culture teaches us, and this is true, our culture teaches us that femininity is itself is wrong and bad. It's confusing because we also require it. We require femininity because we tell women they must act a certain way, and then we hate them for acting that way. We pressure women to look a certain way at work, right? Feminine clothing, makeup, manicures, jewelry, then tell them they can't be promoted because they don't appear competent enough. Meanwhile, they don't seem manly enough for the increased responsibility. We limit the sports they can play, tell them we can't, take their athleticism seriously because they're playing women's sports, which are a lesser version of regular sports. Regular equals men's sports, by the way. We insist on femininity, and then we treat women poorly, justifying the poor treatment because they aren't feminine enough. Even if they are the right amount of feminine, we still treat them poorly because it turns out that we treat femininity itself as a bad thing. So until we deal with the misogyny in our culture, the advances we make in pro-queer rights and policies are going to be very limited. This is true on a government level, but also on businesses, organizations, and church. I'm almost done. Every time you encounter an instance of homophobia, remember that person, they hate women too. And that's true even if the person doing it or doling out the homophobia is a woman. Internalized misogyny is very real, as demonstrated by my fellow white women consistently voting against our own interest, right? So here's two things, two sort of other related thoughts to go with this. One, if you doubt any trans women or women, consider this, that trans women know themselves to be women so deeply, so surely, that even though they grew up in the same patriarchal society as the rest of us, they know firsthand all the advantages of living as a man and how they're hated by women, or how they're hated by men. They're all willing to give it up in order to live as themselves. Two, I think we need a new category of sexuality for these straight men who really hate women. I'm thinking of the straight men who say that they are attracted to women but seek to shame and denigrate and abuse women with every interaction they do, who get turned on by women being beaten, choked, tortured, and humiliated. Why does that get lumped in with heterosexuality? They're not actually attracted to women. They're attracted to the violence and the hate against women. To me, that feels like it needs another name. Does that not describe everything to you?
That is like, yeah, almost like down to the fucking T. Like, really.
Cis men can't wrap their heads around trans women because we gave up all of it. And that's what I started off saying. I gave up everything to be a man. I gave up respect. I gave up my male privilege. I gave up my penis. I gave up the right to respect. I gave up the right to command a room. I gave up the right to make more money, to get this to promotion, to this, to that, and whatever. And men can't wrap their head around that. They can't. Why would you ever give that up?
Because
And
I want to be who I authentically am.
And here's where I'm going with part
and
of this.
They can't understand that.
Exactly, but here's where I'm going with this. People like Daviana and Lily Tino,
God.
if they had any ounce of femininity in them at all, Lily Tina would know exactly what she did when she took pictures in the bathroom and violated other women's privacy, and she would know what she did was wrong. She would know that what she's doing to the trans community is very fucking wrong. Mm-hmm. But she chooses to ignore that fact because she doesn't have an ounce of femininity in her. She's not a woman. A woman would never act that way towards another woman, ever. And Daviana, who says, oh, well, I'm a man and I identify as a woman. I just want to look like a woman. Well, you can't be a man and then say that you're a woman. And then say that you want to keep your parts because you like the sexual pleasure it brings you. Where is the incongruence? Where is the dysphoria?
There is none.
Exactly.
I mean, there isn't. Because, I'm sure you can testify to this. You know, one thing I cannot understand about this new trans community, which is what I've been calling it, because
The trans trenders.
trans trenders, yes, um, all these trans trenders who are like, oh, I can identify as a woman and have like a 6 foot long beard.
Nope.
That
Nope.
does not
Nope.
make
Nope.
any
Nope.
fucking
Nope.
sense
Nope.
to
Nope.
me
Nope. Nope. Can't do it. Can't
because
have it both
that
ways.
is the first fucking thing I got rid of.
Me too. Me too.
I did.
Me too.
And
You saw the beard I had.
Yeah, I mean,
I showed you that shit. That was great. And
yeah.
I used to have it down to here.
Yeah, I think mine was like, it wasn't as long, but it was like about here. I mean, it was pretty long. And I hated it. I fucking hated it. You know, and when I started doing laser, I
mean,
first thought, oh my God, I can't do it.
Look at this.
But I knew in my mind that I wanted this shit gone. And I was willing to do whatever to, fix that dysphoria. And,
You're
I'm
damn
not
right.
as far along as you are.
Oh,
But,
stop it. You're 6 years into your transition. Stop it. Stop it. Come on. Stop it.
I'm just saying, like, you've taken bigger steps than I have.
Like what?
You know what I mean? Well, you have bottom, you've had bottom surgery.
So I got mine 14 months after I started. First year.
I know.
I did it in the first year only because it was financially available to me.
Okay, well that makes sense. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
I don't have health insurance. I don't have any health insurance. So everything I do, Haley, I pay out of pocket for. So I pay out of pocket for all my hormones. I pay out of pocket for my bottom surgery. Yeah. I paid out of pocket for my teeth. Everything I do out of pocket. There's no insurance coverage for me. And so I was, because of my stream, and only because of my stream, I was in a financial position to be able to do these things. Had I not had the stream, I would have never been able to do that. I'd still be the same boat as you right now, Haley. I would. I know I would.
But
I probably would have cut it off on my own at that point.
I think that's what sets us apart from these trans trenders. You said this Daviana person, and I've seen them. The first video I saw of that person was like, well, I'm a 47-year-old male who wants to look like a woman. Mm-hmm. Bitch, you're not trans. Like, period. You cannot say that you're. I mean, okay, yeah, you were born a man. So was I. So was you. But
I wasn't born a man. I was born a baby with a penis. I had to turn into a man like everybody else. Children are not men. Children are boys. Right? A male child is a boy, not a man. You have to earn your manhood as you grow older.
You're right. My bad.
I use that because so many people say,
word it correctly.
No, I do it that way because so many people on my TikToks and stuff, they say, oh, well, you were born a man. No, I wasn't. I was born a baby with a fucking penis. Period.
Born a boy, yeah.
I was born a boy. I was born male. Period. Right. Manhood is something that you have to portray. To be a man, you have to portray being a man. Just because you're a grown-ass male doesn't mean that you're a fucking man. And that's where people seem to miss the conception of this, is that, you're a man. No, I'm not a man. I take on the societal role of being a fucking woman, not of being a man. Therefore, I am not a man because I do not do things that men do. And so it pisses me off when people say that, not you, but when people in general say that shit, they're like, oh, you're a man. Oh, am I? Am I out there going, working on my fucking truck and, bending my wife over the counter and fucking railing her? No, I'm not. That's not me. I'm not. Sorry. I'm sitting on my wife's face and she's eating me the fuck out. So I don't think many men are doing that.
Yeah.
Cis men anyway.
That'd be a little impossible.
Cis men anyway, not trans men, of course, but you understand.
Yeah. Okay, so let me reword that then. My bad.
Yes, please do.
So these trans trenders who want to say I was born a man. That's what they say. We're born.
I know.
They were born a man. Yeah, you and we were born boys. Yes, but that's not who we are. Like, that's not who we were born. Like, our bodies did not develop certain ways. Like you said, our bodies developed into being men, and then we got to a point to where we're like so uncomfortable with our bodies. Where again, that's where dysphoria ties in. That's how you get diagnosed with gender dysphoria. I mean, you
Gender
can't just say
incongruence.
like I'm. Oh yeah, gender. Yeah. Um,
It used to be
you're so
dysphoria.
technical.
Well, it used to be dysphoria.
I
You're
love
not
it though.
wrong.
I
You're
love
not
it.
wrong. No, it was dysphoria. That's why these idiots go, "Oh, gender dysphoria. It's in DSM-5." Okay, well, read the DSM-5 text reversion, asshole.
Yeah.
It's gender incongruence, and there is no indication of a mental disorder with gender incongruence. It's actually considered a
Right.
sexual disorder, not even a mental one. It's a sexual disorder, and it should be because it is.
Right. So I find it very insulting when someone like yourself, someone like me, a lot of other trans women, a lot of trans men in the world who have struggled with this since we were born,
Hmm.
you know?
I remember when I was
Like it's
6
not
years
like we
old.
just woke up one day like fucking Lily Tino, put a fucking dress on and I'm like, "Oh, I'm trans."
Girl, I
Like
was
no, it
6
doesn't
years
fucking
old,
work that way.
and I found this big pair of silver fucking scissors. You remember the big scissors we used to have when we were kids? You know, uh,
Like the big art scissors like in art class and shit?
yeah, like
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
like for fabric cutting and shit. My grandmother had
Yeah.
some, and so I walked up to my mom. I handed her a pair of scissors, and I begged her to cut my penis off. I said, "Mommy, I want to be like you. I want to look like you." I begged her
Mm,
to cut it off, Haley. I've
wow.
known forever, that I was not a boy or a
Yeah.
man or a male or any of that shit.
Same.
And that's why
I
it
I
pisses me
can't
off when I hear somebody say, "Oh, I put on a dress and knew I was trans." Really? Because you looked really cute? You thought that? What? Yeah, okay. Fuck you.
oh.
Fuck
Lily
you.
Tino's nothing more than a cross dresser.
Lily Tina's a
I mean,
fetishizer.
yeah.
Have you seen her fucking? Have you seen her OnlyFans? It's gross.
No, I'm not that. No.
All right. Well, I've seen bits and pieces of it that people have posted, and it's disgusting.
Oh, I bet.
You know.
But to to go back to the trans trenders, it really pisses me off, and I know it pisses you off because we've talked about this last week.
I'm
How
infuriated.
we both have been working so hard. Yeah, I'm 6 years, you're almost 5 years, and for us to you go through your surgeries and things you've done to get where you're at.
Mhm.
Same with me, you know, like to me, that's a fucking slap in the face.
It is.
Like it really is.
It is
Because all they are doing is invalidating the work and the time
that we
and
all
the
put in.
effort and everything that we've put into where we are at now.
Yes.
And for people to consistently just accept everything, there was one time, yeah, I accepted everyone and
Me
I
too.
really tried to understand.
Me
I
too.
really did.
But then it's
But
out of
when
control
you
now.
have people out here who are identifying as cardboard boxes in fucking trees and using a goddamn litter box, that is not trans.
I hate the word
That is
identify. I do. I hate it
that
because
is yeah,
the word
that is a
identify
mental
sends the
fucking
wrong
issue that you need
message.
help with.
Well, I agree with you, but the word identify it sends the wrong message.
Yes.
When people say, "Well, I identify as a woman," okay, but how do you identify as a woman? How? Or I identify as this, or I identify as that. People say that stuff all the time. I identify as this, whatever. Okay, well, I identify as me.
Right.
I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I identify as me, who happens to be a woman. And so it really irritates me when people say I identify as a woman. Really? Well, how do you identify as a woman? Being me it's not a feeling. And that's the other thing I hate. Fucking, it pisses me off too. People go, "Oh, well, I feel like I'm a woman." What does being a woman feel like exactly? Because I don't feel like I'm a woman. I just know that I'm a woman. If you take
Right.
everything you know about yourself, and any woman out there listening to this, whatever, if they take anything that they know about themselves, inertly they know that they're just a girl or a woman or whatever. And they know this because when we're kids, right, we don't know what our genitals are for when we're kids. I didn't know at 6, 7, 8, even 10 years old that penises produce sperm. I didn't know anything about that.
Oh
But I
yeah.
knew that I was called a boy because that's what society said I was supposed to be, even though I didn't feel that way.
Yes.
Even though I knew that I wasn't, I was always confused why I was called a boy. I constantly told my parents, "I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, I'm a girl, I'm a girl, I'm a girl." Stop calling me a boy. And I'd get "Well, you have a penis, you're a boy." That's what I get from my parents.
Mm.
And, little girls don't know that their vaginas are parts that are going to eventually produce babies. That you don't know this. So if you just
Right.
take everything you inertly know about yourself, you just know that you are who you are, the existence, the aura, the essence of oneself, right? And so this whole feeling thing is bullshit. Being a woman is not a costume. It's not.
No.
It's not putting on a dress. It's not wearing makeup. Because right now, first off, I'm not doing either. I've got no makeup on. I've got no dress on either. But I'm still a woman.
Right.
And so it pisses me off when people say, well, I identify as, or I whatever. No, you don't identify. You either are or you aren't, period.
Yep.
So you can identify as a Ford truck, a billionaire, or a fucking banker for all I give a fuck. I identify as me,
Hmm.
and me is just what you see is what you get.
Yep. I I 100% agree on that. I think that this whole new age of um these trans trenders, you know, it's obviously given us a really bad fucking name, and it
It
is
has,
putting the
and it's created what
targets
we have in society
bigger.
today for the laws.
Right. And if people would just use common fucking sense, like, hey, I'm just gonna transition, live my life, be who I am, there wouldn't be any fucking problems. Lexi, I don't know about you, but when I go out, when I
I
go to
don't,
work,
I don't get
when
bothered when
I
I go
go
out.
out shopping, when I go get my fucking nails done, anything like that, I never have a fucking problem.
Me neither.
Ever.
Me neither.
Because I just want to blend in. That's it.
I try to blend in as much as I can. You know,
I mean, once in a while, someone's gonna out me at work because they're a piece of shit.
I've never been
But
outed anywhere.
that's the
No,
only place I get out at is at my job.
normally, like, I mean,
That's it.
my tits are always front and centered. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Uh,
mine are too.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like my tits are always front and center. They're always here. Look, they're here. I've always got my nails done. Usually, I mean, I've got my lashes and my lips and my face, and I mean, my face. It doesn't totally say male all the time. It might today because the lighting is shit in here, but it doesn't scream male all the time. You know what I mean? And I don't really see a man when I look in the mirror anymore. Once in a great
Same.
while, once in a great while. Today it's kind of one of those days, but I don't care. It is
Mhm.
what it is. I'm gonna have a day. And nobody bothers me when I go. I use the ladies' room, nobody bothers me. I use the locker rooms if I need to, nobody bothers me. I mind my fucking business like I'm supposed to. You know, um,
Yeah.
when people ask me, like, well, what bathroom do you use? Well, I use the ladies' room because, well, I don't have a fucking penis. I'm not equipped with male parts. Why would I ever walk into a fucking men's room so I can get
Right.
raped? You know,
Well, and that kind
no
of brings
way.
up like a whole argument that people love to defend is, well, if you're a trans woman, like you have a penis. Well,
Not
you
true.
don't know what I have or what I don't
I
have.
didn't even know
You
you didn't
know,
have bottom surgery. I didn't know that until you said something. I had no fucking clue.
a
Because
lot of
it's
people don't
to be
know.
honest with you, Haley, it's not something I'm ever going to think about because I'm not thinking about
Right.
your genitals. It's not important to me.
Right.
I
Right.
ain't I ain't
Right.
fucking you. It's not important to me.
Yeah.
You know? People are
Right.
so obsessed with genitals. It's like, why are you so
Oh my
obsessed with other
god.
people's genitals? Like, the fuck is wrong with you? I don't
I
understand it.
Yeah. That I think that's honestly the obviously that's the biggest thing. Like with Lil Latino.
She's obsessed
Um.
with her genitals.
Yeah.
So tell me that she is dysphoric. Tell me she's fucking dysphoric when she's out there displaying it, constantly talking about it, and it's
Yeah.
fucking
Throwing out
disgusting.
fucking corn dogs and ketchup and all that bullshit. Fucking stupid. I
It's
mean,
disgusting.
and it's people like that. Like that's why I said my video the other day. That I'm just tired of seeing this shit. I'm right there with you. I know you have voiced that, and when you made that video about Daviana, like I was like, yes, I fucking get it, and I'm glad that someone feels the same fucking way I do
I went
because
off
I'm
into
so
Daviana
tired
thing.
of seeing this shit.
I went off into Daviana things. I was just so fucking over it, and I had already done that video like 5 fucking times, or 20 times or whatever it was, and I was just so fucking bent over it. And so I just did it that last time, like, oh, hell no. Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm fucking heated, god damn it.
Yeah.
Now I've got something to say. And I just went off. I just went off. I didn't care. Some people think that I'm jealous of them. Other people
Yeah,
say, oh, that
I've
video
heard that.
didn't go the way that you wanted it to. It's like that video went exactly the way I wanted it to. It went exactly you got the reaction exactly I thought it was going to get. You
Yeah,
know, some people would be mad. Some people would be like, right on, girl, go for it. Um, I didn't, I'm at the point in my life, Haley, where like, I don't care if I offend you anymore. If I
same.
say something and you don't like it, well, fuck you. Tough shit. Too bad. I'm done catering to people. I'm done being nice. I'm done, being this person everybody wants me. And that goes down to the beard thing and
Mm.
the this and the that. Oh, well, I want to transition, but I don't want to go on hormones, or I want to transition, but I don't want bottom surgery, or I want to transition, but I want the same respect as a woman, even though I want to dress like a man, or, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I've worked too hard in my fucking transition to have any of these fucking issues that you people are bringing my way for no fucking reason.
right.
You want to get recognized as a woman, but your beard touches the fucking floor. Fuck you. Get rid of it. You don't see
Yeah,
women out there with fucking beards. I'm sorry. It's not a female trait. And then I
I
hear, well, women have PCOS, they have facial hair. Not like you, motherfucker.
yeah, not a full blown fucking beard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And some people get so mad at me for it. It's like, fuck you, shave your goddamn face and make it go away.
yeah.
Women don't have beards. I look, I've seen some of the ugliest fucking women out here, and they still don't have fucking beards. I've seen some of the manliest looking women. Like, I went to the store like last year. I remember going to Walmart in Berea, and I was at the Walmart, and I looked at my wife, I'm like, is that a woman? Like, I couldn't tell legitimately. I didn't know. Maybe it was a trans woman, because she was
Mm.
just a really manly looking woman. I
Yeah.
really couldn't tell the difference. And, honestly, at the end of the day, it didn't fucking matter to me. Because
Mm.
you can be an ugly ass fucking person and be a woman. That's perfectly fucking fine. If you're one of those women that's ugly, hey, good for you. Sorry, I don't have to tell you. I'm an ugly ass woman. I don't give a fuck. I'm me. I'm happy. But it's like,
You're not ugly.
stop it. But it's like, these trans people want to, just walk into women's bathrooms and walk into women's spaces, and like I can absolutely see their frustration with it and why they're so upset over it. Either you're gonna stay or I'm
Right.
not gonna pick you up again. And I can see why they get so fucking frustrated with it because I would be nervous if I saw a man in the bathroom with a fucking beard. I really would. My wife brought
Oh.
something to my attention the other day that really fucking dawned on me, and I mulled this over. So I had this really bad dream a few weeks ago where I was literally raped in my dream,
Mm.
and it was so haunting. I woke up and wrote about it, because it was so daunting to me. And I talked to my wife about it, and I let her read my diary that day. And I don't normally let her read it, but I let her read it that day because it was really affecting me. And my wife says to me, she goes, Lexi, that's a very real reality for you. You don't understand, Lexi. You know, um, as a girl, she says, I grew up getting told that this can happen. I grew up being warned against things like this, and when it usually happens, right? When it does happen, you go to report this person, and 9 times out of 10, people stand up and they say, "Oh, this guy would never do that. They're such a nice guy." Blah blah blah. And so the question comes: do you even bother reporting it? Because half of them don't even get prosecuted for it, right? But then I says to my wife, I'm like, yeah, but I carry all the fucking time. I mean, literally, Haley, I fucking carry a fucking firearm all the time with me. I don't have it on me now, but I have one right here. So, you know, well, I mean, I'm in the studio. I'm not. I'm in my house. I've got an AR-15 right here, locked and loaded. So I mean, I'm covered. But it's like, my wife says to me, she goes, "Okay, but are you going to use it, Lexi? Because what if you're in the middle? What if somebody attacks you? You go to use it. Now they take your gun from you, and use it
Mm.
against you. Because I don't have the same strength, Haley, that I used to have. Not even
Same.
close. People
Oh,
don't
same.
understand the amount of muscle loss that I went through. I can barely do a push up these days. A pull up, forget it. People are like, oh, how much can you bench press? Like, you see these boobs? I can't. I can't. My muscle is gone. It's in my
Mm.
boobs,
Mm.
and they don't understand that. And so, like, I don't have the same, I got great lower body strength, sure, but I got no upper body strength. And, she goes, what if they use it against you? Is it worth fighting for your life that way? Or do you just let him get away with it and be done with it? And I got to tell you, Haley, it still haunts me to think about it because I don't know what I'd do.
It's
It's a very
that's
real possibility for me to be
yeah.
raped
Yeah.
just
And
because I'm a trans woman. And it's
right.
the, oh, well, you want to be a woman so fucking bad, blah, blah, blah. Well, here, fucking take this, you know? Now it's a control issue. We know that rape isn't about sex. It's not about sex. It's about power and control. It's about overtaking somebody, you know?
Mhm.
And for somebody like me who has a vagina, it's a very real thought of mine. And it's
Yeah.
something I think of even when I'm out walking. I think about it, you know, because I'm not big, Haley. I'm 5'6" tall.
Hmm.
I'm not a tall person. I'm very, very short. You know, I have a very short stature. Um, I mean, I wear a size 8.5 for a fucking shoe, for crying out loud. I'm not big. People think that I'm this big 6 foot tall fucking person. I'm not. I'm 5'6". You know, and if it were to happen, what am I gonna do? I can't defend myself like I used to. I just can't
Yeah.
because I don't have the same strength.
Yeah. I
And that's
think
so hard for these assholes to understand. They
and
think that we're the same people we were when we started. We're not.
right. And that's why when I texted you and you said like, well, what do you want to talk about? And I said, I've been having this going through my head, like these kind of conversations, like just important shit that needs to be out there because I guarantee you, Lexi, there's a lot of people that feel the same way we do who are cis, and
I
who
guarantee
do
there's a lot of
support
trans
us,
women out there that say the same thing we
and a
do.
lot of, yeah, exactly. But you know, when you have these trenders and you have these people identify as A through fucking Z, like, yeah, it's gonna give us a bad name. It's gonna give us a bad look. And when we're just trying to live our lives and be who we are, and you have these dipshits out here making that fucking impossible almost just for us to live,
Yeah,
you know? I don't bother anyone. I just go to my job, I do my shit, but somehow I always have someone talking shit about me. Someone's
you
always
do.
out of me or
Yep.
and I'm like,
And it's bullshit.
how does this affect your life? Like, how?
Well, it doesn't.
It
It
doesn't.
doesn't. That's just it. It doesn't affect their lives. But as I said to you earlier, cis men can't wrap their head around how we gave up male privilege.
It's true.
Why
It's
would
true.
anybody want to be a woman? And I've said that. I've said that 1,000 times long before I ever read an article. I said, why would anybody want to be a fucking woman? You get treated less than. You're told that you're fucking weak. You're told that you can't do nothing. You get less fucking pay. You get less respect. You get fucking treated like a second class citizen. Who the fuck would want to be a woman? You know what's sad, Haley? Right now in our country, a rapist has
Hmm.
more rights than you do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. A rapist
It
has
is.
more rights than I do or you do
Yeah.
because we've been
And
stripped
that's
from the federal
yeah.
government essentially.
Well, because of these people, these trenders and these other, transphobic people who are putting us as public enemy number one. So of
Mm-hmm.
course, they're gonna give everyone more rights than us.
Have you seen
That
Nezzy?
who?
Nezzy?
Mm,
Nisa,
I
Nessa, whatever her fucking name is.
I don't think
Well,
so.
his
It doesn't
name,
sound
their name,
familiar.
I don't even know anymore if they're a he or a she. Okay, so this is a person who detransitioned, right? Says that they detransitioned through meditation and hard work. If only it was that easy. And then because, there weren't trans. Don't listen. If you're a detransitioner and you're listening to this,
Fuck you.
yeah, well, fuck you, number one. But number two, take responsibility for your fucking shit. Here's the thing. If you
Yeah,
transition and say, I did so via prayer, via meditation, via find something else to do, you were never trans to start with. You
hundred
would
percent.
never trans. And people like Nessa, Nisa, whatever her fucking name is, she pisses me off because they go out and say that, oh, well, I'm not trans or I was transition. I lived my life as a woman for a decade. And, now all of a sudden I found, meditation or prayer and now I'm detransitioning. Fuck you. You were never trans to start with. You just thought you looked fucking cute or something because you were never fucking trans. Because if you were, there isn't enough fucking prayer in the world to fucking make it go away. None.
Yeah.
Ever. And I've never seen a
I
happy
was told that.
detransitioner. Have you ever seen a happy detransitioner? Because I haven't.
Honestly, Lexi, I think like that Noah person that I've been having some beef with. um, you know, like like you said, they don't take responsibility. They think they have all the fucking answers,
They do.
and you know, it's because
Prayer will not fix
they
this.
one, they don't know what they want. Two, they think, oh well, everything's fine. I'll just I'll start hormones and all this other stuff.
Sure.
And the minute they start hormones and shit starts going into effect, which is not very long,
30 days at best.
they're like, oh my god, my body, what the fuck's going on?
The
And then they're like, I
emotionals.
can't do this,
Yeah.
which is exactly what fucking Noah did. He argued with a doctor in his comment section saying like, "Oh, I didn't like what estrogen did to me." Well, then, bitch, why'd you take it?
Then you're not a,
Why'd you
then you weren't
pretend to be
trans
a
to begin
woman
with.
when
Yeah.
you're not?
They were just never trans to begin with, and they can't
Yeah.
seem to admit that, and that's the problem. They try to say that they weren't trans, and just because their transition didn't work out, that nobody else is trans. No, that's not the case. I'm sorry, that's just not it. There are plenty of people out there living their lives decades being happy. Look at Jazz Jennings.
Yeah.
There's a girl, her name is Rosie. She used to try to attack me in the beginning. She tried to deplatform me, absolutely hilarious. But she tried to deplatform me in the beginning, and she was talking about my stream, this, that, and whatever. And it was funny. And it's like,
Wait,
but
Rosie?
Rosie something, yeah, she's a 60-year-old woman. She lives in California. I can't remember her last name,
Okay, this is
unfortunately.
different because there's a North Omaha cat lady. Like me and her follow each other, and I thought you were talking about her for a second. I was
No,
like,
no, no.
okay,
This
because
woman lives in
she's cool as
California.
fuck.
She has a partner,
Oh,
but she's been transitioning for like 20 years or whatever, 30 years, which is since the 80s. And she believes that, nobody should be able to transition unless they have to live their gender for like they did back in the old days, 2 or 3 years as yourself. And then finally you can start to transition, on hormones, this, that, the other. Well, first off, that there's a reason we don't do it that way anymore. And that's because we lost a lot of people that way. And it created too many problems. And that's why people started transitioning, and but second all, it's like she used to act that way all the fucking time. Oh, well, you're not trans because of this or because of that. It's like no, 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 that's not it at all. As far as trans youth goes, Buck asked me, the other day, last week, whatever, how I felt about trans youth transitioning, and I'm okay with social transitioning. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with leaving it to the professionals, but there needs to be more counseling as far as like puberty blockers and things go. I really believe today it's too easy to get them.
yes,
And in the beginning, I felt different. I did. I said, well, trans youth, let them transition. Because I was a trans youth and so were you. And,
right,
God, I wish those things were available to me, but those resources weren't available to me when I was younger. Hell, I didn't even find out
right,
what trans was until I was in my 30s. I had
right.
no idea that I could even transition until I was in my 30s. I was so closed off to that stuff, you know?
Right. And from when I was growing up, I know you were born a few years before I was,
I was
but
77, but you're what,
okay,
87?
I'm 85.
85.
85.
So a few years.
So, yeah. So, but during the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s,
The information wasn't available,
trans was not a fucking thing.
but it was.
I mean, the only time you
It
ever heard about
was.
trans people was like in
Rocky Horror
movies
Picture Show.
or yeah, like movies, celebrities doing
Right.
shit like that, or people working the streets.
I used to see a
You know,
counselor when I was a kid. Fallon Clinic was the name of the clinic. I don't remember the name of the counselor, but I remember the name of the clinic very well. And I used to see this counselor when I was a kid. My father would, back in the day, HIPAA didn't exist like it does today. And, back in the day, my father would tell her not to encourage it, and I would tell her, I feel like a girl, blah, 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 why do I feel this way, yada, yada, yada. And she'd look at me and she goes, oh, listen, Lexi, it's perfectly okay to wonder what it's like to be the other gender growing up. You're just confused right now and you got a lot of hormones going through your body, blah, blah, blah. No, bitch, fuck you. So the resources for
that
me weren't available. You didn't read about transness in encyclopedias. It wasn't
right,
there. You didn't read about this, you didn't read about that, and online resources were not available like they were.
right,
The only reason I ever discovered trans, found out what it was, because I had seen an episode on TV once. I don't know if it was Nightline, Dateline, whatever the fuck it was, but I had seen something on TV about a person transitioning, and his wife was sticking around long enough for her to transition and do her bottom surgery, and then they were just going to be friends because, of course, she wasn't a lesbian. Hate that fucking excuse too, but Anyway, so she wasn't this, and that's when I saw it. But listening and watching this program was like watching myself on television, Haley. I'm listening to all these things this person is saying, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that really
I feel the
sounds
same
like
way.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And so, I had started researching at that point, and that's when Reddit was around and things like that. You'd hear stories and this, that. You'd hear stories about people losing their families, their loved ones, or this, that. And I didn't want to be that statistic, So I said, well, I can't do this right now. I mean, I was 33, I'm like, I can't do this right now. This is not going to work out the way I want it to, and I finally transitioned at 37, 38. I started my first transition and I lost everything, Haley. I ended up that very statistic that I thought I wouldn't lose because I was with a girl who said that she would she was okay with that. She thought it was great that I wanted to transition, be myself and whatever. And, I started my hormones. 6 months later, she left me and I lost everything. I mean everything. I
Mm.
was homeless for a year. And,
Yeah, that's
it's crazy because like, everything that I've known about doing this, why would I put myself through all of that for this? You know,
right,
People don't
right, right.
understand the risk of transitioning and the
Oh my
social,
god.
the societal like hate that you put up with, and that people will just never, ever, ever understand. And I actually think I have a picture of my old transition here. Yeah, right here. Does it pop up? That's my old transition right there.
Oh wow.
I was 38 in that picture. 38 years old in that picture, and that was my first transition. And then I
Mhm.
detransitioned and transitioned back to what you saw, to where I looked like this.
Mhm.
After going through all of that, and I struggled and struggled and struggled. The first year I got married, I struggled so hard because I had already lived the life that I wanted to live. And now I have to live that way?
You have to go back. Yeah.
Like what?
That's
You know,
that
fuck that.
I cannot even imagine that
It wasn't
because
cool.
I mean that had to have like not just emotionally fucked you up, but like mentally had to fuck you up
Hmm.
because you know
I was a mess.
when when I came out, I was with my wife at the time, and she knew the whole time how I felt, but she never thought I wanted to do anything, and I remember I was struggling with this so bad, Lexi, that I she just gave birth to our second son, and she's in the recovery room. I'm sitting there on the couch. I look at her and I say, either I transition or you're gonna be planning a funeral in a few months.
That's how I felt
And
too.
I know that's really heavy shit, but that's how I felt
I
because
get
I'm
it.
like, here I am, 32 years old, and I have two kids now, and a wife, and I'm not fucking happy.
I wasn't either.
Like I'm so fucking miserable. And I'm not saying like she never, like me and her never had good moments or anything like that.
No,
I
I mean,
mean,
I had great moments,
but
sure, but
you know, I I was not, I couldn't give her what she wanted because I couldn't even give myself what I wanted because I was so fucking miserable.
it's because you couldn't love
So like,
yourself.
and that puts so much mental like stress and anxiety. I never ever struggled with anxiety until then.
Yeah, me
And
too.
I knew for a fact like it's either do or die. I'm either jumping into this shit and doing it, or I'm just gonna check out and say I'm done.
Well, I always used to get the question, well, if you knew you were, this way, why did you get married and have kids? Like, because that's what I
Yeah.
was supposed to do. That's what society told me to do.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't regret my children for a second, don't get me wrong, but,
Same.
it's like people always ask me all the time, what, but you don't understand people. These resources weren't available to me when
Right.
I was
I
that
mean,
age. And so I got married and had kids and bought a house and did everything you're supposed to fucking do. I tried to be the manliest man of fucking men because that's what I was
same.
supposed to do. Meanwhile, in my brain, I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, why? Why can't, how do I tell my wife this? And it's like, I couldn't tell my
Right.
wife, and, it just, it's hard, man. It's a struggle. People don't understand.
They don't
And they'll
like.
never understand the struggle that somebody goes through to be yourself. It's so hard on you. It really is. I
Right.
asked my
And
wife after seeing that program, well,
mhm.
what would happen if I wanted that? because it was a good talking point either way. But it's like, what would I want? What would you do if I wanted that? Well, I didn't marry a woman. I married a man. She said. It's like that was the end of that discussion.
Yep. Yep. I heard the same exact thing. I heard the same exact thing. I did. But
Now,
Lexi,
are you divorced?
I oh yeah, I got divorced in 2022.
Was it because
it was
you
like
transitioned?
January 2022. So it was like a brand new start to a whole new year.
Was it because you transitioned?
No, 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 no. No, we had a lot of problems.
Okay.
I mean, we still have problems, but
I'm best friends with my ex-wife.
together.
Me and my ex-wife are best friend, but she did.
That'd be nice.
But when I started my transition, she did look at me and goes, it makes a lot of sense, Lexi. It makes a lot of sense now.
I mean, yeah, it's
things
like
lined up, and she knew it.
Yeah. But it's like what you said. People don't see like that side. I've never shared that until now.
They just see this.
There's some people I've told, that I've been close with, but like I've never openly aired that now. Like now everyone's gonna know, fuck, Hailey was sitting in a hospital room wanting to kill herself? Yeah. And that's like the shit
it's gonna come out very insensitive.
I feel like we need to talk about, because people don't see the side of us. They just see the aggressive side when we see these fucking morons coming on TikTok pretending to be trans, or any social media, not just TikTok.
They don't get to see the backside of things.
Have our biggest platforms.
Well, you're right, and they don't see the backside of what happened, the things that we've been through in life. They just see as we are now. It's like when people come on my TikTok, right? I mean, I'm pretty popular on TikTok. Let's face it, yeah, I'm pretty popular, whatever. Yeah. But when people come on my TikTok, they come in and they don't see a woman firsthand. They see a trans person, and then they just start in about the trans person. They just don't give me time to understand me. They just start insulting. Oh, you're a man. You're a man. You're a man. And then they start talking about, penises and this and that and whatever. And it's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
Because they don't have any education.
No, they don't. They're scared
on any of the trans issues. And that's the biggest problem that I feel within the trans community, is that we don't have anyone fucking educated.
And I think a lot of it, but I think a lot of this boils down to insecurities with them. I think that when they see somebody like me or you, and they're attracted to us, they automatically have to stand up and say, something just nasty to prove their manhood to themselves, to say, well, I'm a man. I couldn't possibly like that. I couldn't be attracted to that. No, I'm a man. So they say nasty shit to prove their masculinity to themselves, their insecurities as people, because these are the things they have to lash out to. When a woman does it, it's a woman's threatened by my existence or your existence. And so they start, and you too. And it's like, oh, well, you're a man and I'm a real woman and I was born with a uterus, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, good for you. Yeah. Good for you.
Good for you, bitch.
I would have loved to fucking have all the things that you have, but I don't. And there are millions of women out there that can't give birth anyway. And I'd like to tell you I've made my peace with it, but I haven't. And it's always going to be a sore spot with me. And people are going to find your story really insensitive too, because they're going to say, oh, wow, your wife just gave birth to your fucking kid. And now here you are fucking screaming all about me again, right? And they're going to find it insensitive, and that's bullshit, because they're not there. They don't live it. They don't understand. They don't understand the things that you go through as a person to get where you are today, and the fight that I've had. Fuck me, Hailey, if I haven't lived fucking 5 lives already. Honest to God.
Right.
I've been through so much in my fucking life. People would never understand it. And that's okay. I want people to look at me as a human, because the most important thing that they don't understand is they think that, being trans is inherently some sexual thing. It's a kink, it's a fetish. We do this because, of the way that we want to be in the bedroom. I haven't had sex in a fucking month. I'm telling you, I just haven't been in the fucking mood. I've had a lot of stress and I just haven't been in the mood. But that being said, this had nothing to do with sex. So I'm sick and tired of hearing, we'll just leave it in the bedroom. I can't leave my tits in the bedroom. You know what I mean? They don't fucking come off. And it's like, I didn't do this for sex. I did this to be comfortable and happy in my body.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing that people just don't seem to get.
You don't.
Men.
Because of the lack of education.
Yes, they turn it down to a kink or sex, because what do you see on TV? All you see is a sexual representation of us, or, you see, you watch these CSI programs or whatever. It's always fucking the trans woman. They found out that she was trans, and so now she's murdered on a fucking table, right? Or somebody wants their bottom surgery, but their hormones are killing them. Or somebody's trans, but they're this, they're that, they're whatever. It's always in bad representation. You never see a trans
Yes.
person in a positive fucking light, and it's fucking bullshit, Haley. It's
And
bullshit.
it is. And to add to that, with the representation, not just of people on TikTok, but like the media and shit too, you know, I mean, us, we grew up in the 80s, 90s. And so that's when they had like, these talk shows like Jerry Springer. And I really feel like Jerry Springer is at fault for making trans people look so fucking bad to where it's a fucking mockery now.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
oh, I'm really a man. Oh, and the fucking, like, what the fuck is that? Like,
It's
you know,
it's
I made
insecurities.
I made a video. I have not posted it yet, but I made this yesterday. I saw this woman who was a cis woman and had a boyfriend and did a, oh, I'm the whole trans trend. I was born a man trend, which has been starting to go around. And they do not understand how fucking dangerous that is. Like, they do not understand the risk, like we were talking about earlier, with you having the parts that you have now and what could happen to you. I mean, shit, if you happen to me and I don't have it, you know what I mean? But like,
Somebody could get
eh,
fucking pissed off at me just for walking into a men's room or a ladies' room rather, and
right,
turn around and walking out and end up with problem at Walmart for no fucking reason.
right, right. Or we could end up like in fucking Cincinnati, get fucking stomped to death. I mean, people don't understand, like, this is our lives. Like, real shit's happening. This isn't a trend. This isn't something for clicks and views. Like, we're authentically living our life. We're putting our lives every time we walk out that fucking door
Put it in
every
life.
day.
Yeah.
We are risking our life.
Every day I
And
go
they
out, I
don't
ask
fucking
myself,
get
am I
that.
coming home? Every day.
Yeah.
When I go
Yeah.
for a walk, I'm like, well, today could be the day. You never know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people don't understand that we live regular, normal lives like everybody else. Like, I get up this morning, I brushed my teeth, I got dressed. I did the same thing everybody else does. I figured out what I want to do for my day, and I came out to my studio. I went to work. This is my job. This is what I do. And you probably did the same thing this morning too. You get up, you get ready for work. You went to work. You came home. You did your
Yeah.
thing. Whatever. People don't understand that we live normal lives. I mean, everything I
Right.
do. I mean, I help my kids with their homework. I help with their computer problems. I do this. I do that. I have to do yard work. I have to take care of my dog and clean up after her. And I like to garden and do this and do that. People don't understand that I have a regular life like everybody else. There's nothing weird about it. I'm doing the same thing that everybody else is fucking doing. And I don't know why people have such a hard time like grasping that theory that we're just normal people.
Right. I mean, I just think it goes down. It just boils down to education and
It
the lack of
does.
it,
You're right.
and that's why I mean, when my account was booming, when my transition video blew up, and it was just like boom, 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 and I was getting the attention of like massive creators,
I know the feeling.
and which is great, and I looked at that like, okay, great. I'm building this platform. I can help people. I can educate people. I can share my story. I can share my experiences.
You should have
If
walked
people
away.
have questions, whatever. And I'm telling you, Lexi, I used to get fucking tens of thousands of messages throughout the years I've been on TikTok from, trans people, from parents of trans kids, and people who are questioning themselves.
I get it all
And
the
they're
time,
like,
every day.
I just want you to know, like, your video made my day today.
I hear a lot of
Or,
that.
you know, you told me something today, or you taught me something today that I never would have known.
Yep,
You
I
know,
get that a lot. I've
and
helped a lot of people in my chat on Twitch. They bring their
oh,
family,
for
they bring their
sure.
friends, their mom, their dad, whatever, and they ask questions, and I answer them best of my knowledge. I'm like, look, I don't know everything there is to know about being trans. I just know who I am, and I know the experience and
Right.
the things that I've been through. And while I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counselor, or a licensed therapist, or any of that stuff, I can give you my advice. That's the best I can do. The number one thing I get all the time is how soon am I going to be see, how soon am I going to see changes? That's the number one question I get a lot. And I tell people, look, transition is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It takes time for things to work. It takes time for your body to change, and the other thing that people don't understand about transition is, they think that we stay the same from when we started out as male. They don't realize the muscle mass that we go through, the loss of the muscle that we lose, because they don't understand that muscle fed by testosterone is very, very different than muscle fed by estrogen. Now I don't produce any testosterone at all because I don't have testicles. I don't have any of those parts. Maybe my adrenal gland pulls a little bit, but it's very, very little,
Mm.
compared to what I used to. I think my levels are like 5. I mean, they're so low, and they don't understand it. Without that muscle, or without that testosterone, this muscle will never be tight and wound tight again, like it was. It'll never have the I guess the tensile strength that it used to have. And I'm weak these days, and that's okay. They don't understand that your cardiovascular system changes, that your pheromones change, that your skin changes.
Oh
I no
my
longer
god.
have skin of leather. No, no, no.
Hmm.
I have soft baby skin,
Same.
very feminine, soft, wonderful skin, and I love it. But people don't understand that. They just think that we stay the same, and we just have tits or whatever. People don't understand it. My tits grew. I don't have implants. They're mine, you
Same.
know? Yeah, and people
Same.
don't get that. They're like, well, how did you do that? Well, to estrogen and progesterone. You don't understand how similar the human bodies truly are. I just shut off one switch and turned the other one on. That's all I did,
Right.
you
Yep.
know because if you look at, kids that are 8 or 9 years old, boy, girl, they pretty much the same body structure for the most part, until you
Yeah.
flip the switch, and then, hips start to widen and boobs start to grow, or, hair starts to grow, and penises, they get a little bigger, and the voice gets deeper. I mean, whatever switch you turn on is whatever ends up happening to you. And so
Hmm.
while I believe in trans youth transitioning, I think that we need more oversight of it, but we don't need government oversight. I think the government oversight's too much. I do, but
Agreed.
I think that there needs
Agreed.
to be a more strenuous process. That way these mistakes of these kids that are supposedly, detransitioning are not made. I will never
Right.
advocate for surgery for anybody under the age of 18 ever. You know,
I feel the same way.
from
I,
day
I I
one,
do. Just to put that out there for everyone,
from day one, I've never advocated
I
for
do
surgery.
support trans youth,
I do too,
but
but
I think
with
hormones,
limitations.
right, would limitate. Yes, I'm the same. Yeah, same way.
I'm okay if
Surgeries,
somebody wants
I
to
think
socially
you need to be
transition.
18 or older,
Yeah. I
and
don't think you should be able to
hormones.
start hormones till you're 14, 15 years old. I
Yeah.
know that sounds crazy and drastic. A lot of changes happen before that. I get it, but I think it's something that really needs to be thought out. It really is, and I think to myself as a trans adult, I think to myself, God, how great it would have been to not have this voice. How great it would have been to, develop a set of hips, because that would have happened if I
Mm,
was younger, and I think about all these things that could have happened, and it's like, man, this would have been great, but these things didn't happen. And so now I'm
mm,
where I'm at, and I'm spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to change it. And that's all well and good, but so in some cases, I think that trans youth should get what they need, but at the same time, I think the access is too easy today. I do.
agreed.
And well, do I think the government should be oversighting that? No, they shouldn't be getting involved with that any more than they should be with abortions. I think that
Yeah,
that's a woman's
100%.
decision to make, and that's it. My body, my choice, and I stand by that.
Yes.
But people don't understand everything that happens when a trans person transitions. They don't understand trans youth. They're like, oh well, you know, um, these people can't even get a tattoo legally, and you want them to transition. Oh, but you're okay if they raise a baby at 13.
Yeah.
You're okay if they do that. That's an okay decision for them to make, but not to transition. Or oh, you don't want them transitioning until they're 18. Even at 18, really, but you want them going into the military. They can carry a gun and go into the military at 18, but you're not going to let them smoke or drink or do any of that stuff either. You know, um, Jesse Ventura said something once that really caught my attention. I don't really like the guy. He's a conspiracy theorist, former wrestler Jesse Ventura.
Yeah, he's
Like
weird.
he's a weirdo. Don't get me wrong, but he did say something once. He had said that when he joined the military at 18, they shipped him off to Vietnam, and when he came back from Vietnam, he signed up for another tour to go back. Well, he was asked why years later. You know what he said?
What's that?
Because over there they treated me like a man. Here they treat me like a child. I can't even drink or
Mm.
smoke. I can't even
Oh,
drink under
you
the
know
age of
what?
21. But over in
I think I did
over in
hear that.
Vietnam, He could drink at 18. You know,
Mhm.
we need to find an age that works for everybody because we're too spouted off for everything. You know,
Well,
16 you can get a
yeah.
driver's license, 15 in some places, but you can get a driver's license. 17, 16 years old you can drop out of high school. 18 years old you can carry a fucking gun in most of these red states now. You can sign up for the military, but you can't have a fucking beer or buy a pack of cigarettes. What?
Yeah.
What? So let me guess, you can die for our country, but you can't have a cigarette while you do it.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
fucked up. We need to find an age
It
that works for
is.
everything. It's either one age or no age. You know?
I agree. I think I think so as far as like the trans youth thing, like cuz I never really talked about it, so I guess I got kind of throw my stance out there about it. I'm with you about like the surgeries and the hormones. I think between, like 15, 16, 17, if you know like you want hormones,
Well, I mean, I knew.
like right.
I knew,
Like
but I
if
knew
you
young, but
know
I still probably wouldn't have started hormones until I was in my teens, late
yeah,
teens.
well, I came out when I was like 14 to my mom,
So there you go.
and she, you know how you were talking about your sister story with your mom. I remember I was talking to my mom, and I said, you know, I feel like this. I feel like a girl. I don't feel like a boy. I I just I just don't want to live like this anymore. And it was like silence for like it felt like forever, but it was like maybe like a
A couple of seconds.
30-second, yeah, was something like that. And uh and she goes, "Well, you're gonna have to get breast implants and your wiener took off." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." Like at 14, like I knew what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like I knew like this is who I felt I was. You know,
I'll agree
like
with that.
why would I tell my mom? Or why would you tell your mom, "Hey, I don't want these parts, or I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to be who I am."
Yeah, I got a very
Like,
strange relationship with my mom right now. It's very
mm,
interesting. It's a very different relationship, and it's kind of funny because like my brother, when he was growing up, he was, I guess, gay, I guess, at one point in his life, and he lived with a man for a long time. My mother loved his fucking partner, loved Frank, absolutely loved this guy, right? Fine with my brother, whatever. I went to transition. I sat down. I talked to my mom about it. It was that summer, 2016, I think it was. And I sat down with my mother and I talked to her about it. It was a hard discussion to have with her too. And my mother
oh yeah.
cried and this, that, and whatever. And why didn't you say something sooner? Blah 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 blah. All that bullshit. As though she was on my side. But then, come to find out a few months fucking later, she got this big fucking problem with it. Not because I'm trans, but because I'm changing my appearance.
Mm.
Because I'm changing my appearance. This should somehow matter to her. That I
Did
want to change my own fucking body. And today I have a very strained relationship with my mom. When it's funny too, because when I was male presenting, I talked to my mom constantly, all the time, all the fucking time.
mm,
When I detransitioned, all of a sudden my mom's calling me, talking to me, blah blah, whatever. As soon as I started transitioning again, strange relationship. It's fucked up.
did she ever say to you like you're killing my son or something like that? Like did you ever hear anything like kind of like that at all?
Close, yeah, close. Well,
Yeah.
I gave birth to you, and you were my son, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but I'm still the same
Mm,
person, mom. I
right.
just
I
don't look
just
the
look
same.
different.
Right.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
packaging, the contents of the package is the same.
Mm.
It's just the wrapping that's changed. And there's
I
nothing wrong with that. And
no,
she has this
no.
hard time dealing with it. And I don't understand. Even my wife, I'm still with my wife today. My wife asked me to transition, right?
You said that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that until you said that in that podcast with Buck.
Yeah. My
I was like,
wife had asked me
"Whoa."
to transition. Yeah. And my wife is still here today, and
Yeah.
we have fun. She's adapted to our intimate life. We make do, and it's so fucking crazy to me that like anything has to be weird or different. I mean, when you love somebody, it shouldn't matter what they look like, how they dress, how they wear, whatever.
Yeah.
It should just matter that they're still alive on this earth,
Yeah.
because I almost wasn't.
Yeah, same. But then it goes back to like what you were saying about how people think like we make it about us, and it's like, well, to an extent, yeah, because it's like
I've been
we've been
called
trying to
selfish.
tell you this shit like forever. Like we feel this way, or we know this is who we are, and you're like,
I
like
was told that I'm selfish for doing this.
Really?
Yep, I'm selfish.
Uh,
Yep, I'm selfish, self-centered
I
because
don't.
of it. Isn't that crazy? Selfish for wanting to be
I
myself. Favorite
yeah. I
question.
don't think.
Favorite question.
I don't think that.
Why did it take you so long to transition? Because like every other woman, I put my needs aside, and everybody else is ahead of mine, and
And
that's my answer.
that is so true because like I did the same thing. And until I like started doing TikTok and started expressing how I felt and pouring everything out, instead of holding everything in and just suppressing everything like I used to all the fucking time,
Yep.
then people are like, "Oh, oh, I see how she feels. I get it. I understand. I kind of feel like that too." You know? But then it's like, like you said, you have people saying like, "Oh, well, you're changing your appearance, you're
So what?
changing this, you're changing that, you're killing my kid or
I killed him.
son or daughter." You know what I mean? Like
I did.
that's
I
a
killed him.
bullshit excuse in my opinion.
I killed him, and I'm
Like,
happy to kill him. I was happy to kill him. I'm so much better as myself. I'm so much happier now, Haley.
"Oh, me too.
I have a
Girl,
good
me
positive
too."
outlook on life, and I'm living my best life. And so many people think that like me and my wife, this is all we talk about. I don't even talk about being trans very often. The only time I talk about it is
I
like
don't either.
here or on
Mhm.
TikTok or on my podcast or whatever. But I hardly ever talk about being trans because it's really just it's not important. It's I just live my life every fucking day and get up. The only time I think we come up is like when I want something. Like right
Mhm.
now I'm trying to save up because I want an abs 360 and a BBL so I can shape my abdomen and my lower side. That's the
Mhm.
next thing I want, and that's the only time being trans ever comes up is when I want a cosmetic procedure, and other than that, it's not important. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If I die tomorrow, Haley, I get to die as me, regardless. I get
Yeah.
to die as
Oh
me.
my god.
I
You
don't have to
know,
die a man because
you
everything
saying that
it makes
you saying
sense.
that like yeah but like it's like whoa like because
When you get your
you
bottom
know
surgery, it'll be a whole new world for you. I assure you.
oh I'm
You'll
stoked
feel
for it.
really, even if you died the day after, you'll be so much happy you didn't die with a fucking penis. Believe me.
Yeah.
But I've
But
changed everything.
that's a really good outlook though because like I never think about that until you just said that. Like if I die tomorrow, I mean at least I'm me. Yeah, maybe I don't have everything I want or where I'm at, but at least I know for the last 6 years I've been the most authentic person that I've ever been in my life. Out of
Mm-hmm.
the 39 years of my life,
Mm-hmm.
or 33 years of my life, 6 years transitioning, like, I mean, I would never, ever, like, thought, like, I could be this happy, you know, putting myself first above everyone's bullshit and everyone's needs,
You get to live your
you
freedom,
know? Yeah.
and people don't understand that. Everything in my life has changed. My birth certificate's different. My passport, license, social security, my medical records reflect born female. And
It's
my
awesome.
yeah, I mean, my gynecologist did all of that for me. She took care of all the medical records for me. But that's all done and everything. So if I died tomorrow, my death certificate would say female dead. Period. That's it. And then my favorite quote from the trolls. Well, if somebody buries you and you get dug up in 100 years, they'll just see your bones and identify you as male. It's like, bitch, doesn't matter. I'm dead. I don't give a fuck. I still live my life as a fucking woman. That's all that mattered to me. You know,
Yep.
honestly, I'm gonna get cremated anyway, but that's beside the fucking point. Who the fuck's
Right.
digging up bones 100 fucking years later? That's grave robbing, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's
That's
fucking
some,
people.
like, that's some, like, Ed Gein shit right there. You know what I mean?
It's just another excuse to try to invalidate you as a woman. That's all. It's just
Yeah.
nothing more than another excuse to invalidate. That's it. And that's all they ever want to do. It's just invalidate you constantly. It's like
Yeah.
get off your fucking high horse already. Let it go.
Mhm.
My God, let it go. It's such
And
bullshit.
and you know what else? Like now, like the more that we've been talking about this stuff and like the things you're bringing up and whatnot, like these are such good points. Like you don't hear other trans creators talk about shit like this. You
Nope.
know what I mean? You don't hear, like the emotional side, like the shit I went through or the shit you went through, to be where we are today. Like you said, people coming in and they look at us and they go, "Oh, you're a fucking man," or you're
Yo,
this or that,
and you know
or
what I tell them? You're welcome to your fucking opinion, but it doesn't change the way I
yeah,
live my life, motherfucker.
yeah.
You know?
And we both know all these trolls and all these people that talk shit all the time, leave nasty ass comments, make videos about us, all that shit. You know, we know who we are. We know where we are in our lives. We know that we are happier being who we are. We know that we're being authentic and real. We're not behind a fucking fake profile talking a bunch of shit to someone that we don't know,
That's right.
or we don't know how what we say could impact someone. There's not a lot of people out there that are strong as you and I am. We can take bullets and shit. You know what I mean? Because we've been doing this for so long. And,
For those out there,
there's a
bullets
lot
being
of people who
proverbial
come out.
words.
Right.
Just for them.
I
What do you
mean,
mean you could take bullets? You're bulletproof? No, proverbial words.
right. Right.
Hits.
Yeah, it's a metaphor, people.
It's a metaphor, yeah.
But I just think like these conversations are so fucking important to have.
They
like,
are.
amongst the trans community, because it shows a side of us that's like we're not like these rage bait and clickbait and trans trenders.
You know what
who
I always
just
tell
want to get
people?
some views.
I always tell
You
people,
know?
like people like Dylan and people like Lily Tino and whatever, these people that have all these, big followers, whatever. I always tell people, well, I only got 120 something thousand followers. I guess I'm just not the fun one. I guess I'm the
I
boring
got
one.
26,000.
Yeah,
I've been there for a minute and I'm fine with it.
I just tell
Whatever.
people, I guess I'm the boring one. What do you want me to tell you?
But you know what, Lexi? Even though like you have your community, I have my community.
My
No
community
matter
is
how
always
big or
growing,
small our
thankfully.
communities are, like we're the real fucking deal. You know what I mean?
We are.
Like we do things that no other trans creator does on TikTok or YouTube or any social media platform.
We give it honest.
You have Dylan. Yeah, you had
I hate
Rage
Dylan.
Bait and Tino, and now you got this new bitch coming up.
Well, that's the thing that pissed me off about Daviana. She's been here 20 fucking minutes, and now she's trying to change the fucking narrative.
Right.
Bitch, you've been transitioning for 20 minutes. Biggest thing about Daviana pisses me off. And again, people say I'm jealous. Well, whatever. Okay, sure. But they're like, she's talking about her gym and how she wants to save her gym. $16,000, I guess she's going to lose her gym or some shit. It's like, well, bitch, if you didn't spend $5,000 on your fucking tits, another 10 on your fucking face, you probably have enough money for your fucking gym.
When I
priorities,
girl,
bitch,
when I
priorities.
heard you say that, oh man, when you said that in your video, I was walking, like I was on my walk, and you said that you're like, maybe if you just fucking not put all that money in your tits and your fucking cosmetics, maybe you'd have a gym still. And I literally stopped in my tracks. I was like, she did not just say that.
I did.
Like, and I rewinded it and I was like, yeah, she fucking said it. Like, and I was like, good for her. Fuck yeah. Like, I'm glad like she's calling these fucking people out.
That's like I called out Lily Tino too and said, bitch, you ain't trans.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You ain't trans.
Yeah. And if
Can't
people want to
convince
say
me
like,
otherwise.
oh, well, Lexi, you're transphobic. Oh, Haley, you're transphobic.
Fine.
Whatever.
Fine,
okay,
I'm transphobic.
I'm transphobic. Yeah.
Call me what
whatever.
you want. Lily Tino told me I
Yeah.
was transphobic because I misgendered her, but I misgendered her in a printed comment, by the way. And it really was a typo, but whatever. But, Lily Tino's a professional victim. All she does is play victim.
Oh.
Poor me, poor me,
Oh,
poor
yeah.
me. Everybody's after me. Nobody likes me because it's like, fuck you, bitch. Nobody likes you because you're fucking fake. Nobody
And
likes you
people
because you're
see
fucking
through
fake.
a fake person.
I wish they did. Otherwise, why she got 430,000 followers, And then
Well,
people think I'm
because
jealous
these people-
because she's got 430,000 followers. I'm like, I don't think I'm jealous. I bet half the people follow her because she's a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
Well,
because I mean, a majority of those people have to be trolls.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they have to be
Of
because
course.
that's why she's getting all that fucking hate all the time,
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
I thought I got a
she's
lot of
blocking
hate,
people
but
all the time, and
I thought I got a lot of hate. I think she gets more than I do, and I get a lot.
yeah,
My TikToks lately have been pretty fucking full with some crazy fucking shit, let me tell you. But yeah, I think that she gets more than I do. But as she should.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not authentic, so I mean, as she should. At least I'm authentic.
But you know what like the evil part of me, like the evil Haley in me, which people fucking love, is that evil Haley in me is so waiting for the downfall of these fucking trans creators.
It's coming.
And because just like Lily Tino, one day you're gonna fuck up real bad, and you're gonna hit a wall, and everyone's
Ah,
gonna fucking see it,
I think
and
she's
then
gonna hit a
everyone's gonna
wall
call you
already.
out.
I think the state of Florida is gonna fuck her over 10 ways sideways. She doesn't
I
seem
hope
to think that
so.
the state of Florida come after her because they don't want her to get all this popularity or whatever. But she's not gonna get popularity. She's gonna get fucking hate because she took pictures
Mm.
in the bathroom of other women, with something I would never do. And then she didn't even apologize for it. She's a narcissist. She doesn't have any sympathy for anything
Oh
that
no.
she's done. And it's really quite sad, to be honest with you, the way that she acts and the things that she says, because that Mariah chick wouldn't have even had that interview with her if I hadn't proposed the fucking interview. I'm the one that fucking challenged Lily Tino to an interview.
You did.
I
Yeah.
did. I'm the one that did it, and I challenged her to an interview, and then she turned me down and went with fucking some other creator because she knew on my fucking shit she can't control the narrative for me. She
Right.
can't twist me or make me do this or do that because I control the narrative. You're on my platform, bitch. you know?
Yep.
And I think that's why she wouldn't take it, because she doesn't have a following on Twitch, number one. And number two, she was afraid. She's afraid of me. And she should be, because I'm the real deal. And I'm going to call
Yeah.
her out for a bullshit. And I would have done way better than Mariah did. And Mariah even came out and said she was in over her head. And she was. I told her that before she ever did the interview. Bitch, you're over your head. You have no idea what
Yeah.
you're fucking doing. You don't know the type of person that Lily Tino is. I dealt with people like her my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
I knew
Same.
exactly how to handle that fucking little cunt. And, she turned me down. So Mariah would have never even had the popularity she has if it wasn't for me. She ought to be fucking down, fucking sucking my cunt right now because she got that fucking popularity. You know what I mean? She ought to be licking my
Yeah.
fucking clit for all the fucking popularity she has. She gained 40,000 followers out of that shit. 40,000. She ought to be licking my cunt right now. Seriously.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I didn't watch the interview. I just
I
seen
didn't
the
either.
clips and
I've seen the
stuff.
clips.
But
I wasn't
the,
going to give her
the
that.
things that I saw, honestly, to me, it looked like a fucking train wreck.
It
I mean,
was.
everything sounded so disorganized, and it's like, I don't know this Mariah person,
I
and I'm
don't
not
know her
gonna
either.
hate on her or anything like
I
that. I
can't
mean, I've
stand
seen
her.
her a few
She
times.
came
I'm like,
at me. That was enough.
that I did see. That I was like, oh fuck.
You fuck with
Because
the wrong
when
bitch.
people used to come at me, because I know you have a good sized community and people will defend you and go to fucking bat for you.
She actually did
People
a
do the
video
same
telling
thing
me to
for
tell
me.
my people to back off. She
Yeah,
did it. She did
but
a
yeah,
video. Tell your people to fucking get away from me. Like, I can't do nothing. I didn't even sick them on you, bitch. You did this to yourself. You
yeah.
attacked the wrong person. You shouldn't have fucking. You should have just shut your fucking mouth.
That's why Lexi, I tell everyone, I'm like, don't fuck with me, man, because like I'm the wrong bitch to fuck with. Like, I can be the coolest, sweetest, nicest person ever,
I got some loyal motherfuckers. Let me tell you, and I'm
but oh,
grateful
me
for them.
too.
I got
I
some
mean,
true
I just had
blue
someone
fucking
say like,
followers,
yeah. I mean,
and I'm grateful for them too, because without them, I wouldn't be where I am today.
same.
You know.
You know, I I just think like, you know, again, going back to what I've been saying, like it's really important to have these conversations because, you know, there's not it's all trends, it's all bullshit, like we've seen it all, you know, but I really honestly believe with TikTok and social media and the power of it, like, you know, you've done so much good with your platform.
I've
I know
tried.
I've done good with my platform. I know I've helped people. People, I know you probably feel like this, but people praise me like I'm some kind of fucking god. And I'm just like, no, I'm just a normal person like you.
I get it
That's
a
it.
lot. I get people who fangirl when they meet me, this, that, It's like, will you stop? Just stop fangirling.
Yeah. Just
There's no
treat
need
me like a
for
normal
it.
person.
I'm
Yeah.
a regular human being like anybody else. And people are constantly, oh my God, if I met you, I'd freak out. It's like, why? Why?
Yeah.
I'm just a person. The only thing
Mhm.
I try to do with my platform is just I try to be informative. I try to do good. I try to spread awareness, in a positive manner until I'm pissing on somebody. But if I'm pissing on somebody, I'm doing it for good reason. I'm not doing it just because I
Mhm.
don't like the person. I'm pissing on him for very good reason. Somebody, I had wanted to do an interview with Daviana a while back, and she never got back to me. But whatever, I'm used to that anyway. But somebody thinks that I'm mad at her because she didn't get back to me. No, I'm not mad at her because she didn't get back to me. I'm mad at her for what she does and how she represents our community. It's got nothing to do
Yeah.
with her not answering my message. There's fucking a million people who never fucking got back to me on a message, you know?
Mm,
That doesn't mean I'm going to start hating on them. I don't like what
right.
Daviana stands for and the misrepresentation of our community that she sends. That's the problem. That's my problem with Daviana. It's how she represents herself in the community as though she's trans, but she's not. She's not trans. She's fetishizing
Mm,
women, as far as I'm concerned. You know,
yeah.
because she clearly says that, well, he, she, I don't even know what the fuck her pronouns are, but she clearly says, I'm a man, but I want to look like a woman. Okay, but that's not
That does.
trans.
I mean, that confuses me.
Yeah, me too.
You know, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you confuse the trans people? You know, like it just. But I think it goes along with like this generation. What like going back to like the things that we've talked about this, like in this episode, like how we just we see it. Like we've been on our journeys, and the way that the representation now is it's fake. It's bullshit. And you know, I'm tired of seeing it. I know you've been tired of seeing it.
I'm over it.
And yeah. And honestly, despite the things I may disagree with Buck on, I actually respect a lot after watching that podcast. And I know he trolls a lot of people, which is
I respect the
that's
fact he
fine.
speaks his mind, doesn't care.
Yes. Yes.
You
And
know,
I don't think there's a lot of people in the trans community like that. I mean, me and you, obviously. And there are some other good trans
I've just
creators.
really
Don't let
started.
me.
I've just really started being like this, like it's like we said in the beginning of this that I used to be down with anybody, be yourself, be trans, I don't give a fuck, well, you want a beard, fine, you want this, fine, you want that, fine, I was down with all of that for the longest time, Haley, I was, and
Me too.
listen, I'm not anymore. I'm just not because I put too much work into my transition for the things that I want. And there's too many people out there that are misrepresenting our community, and it creates so many bad images for us. And the whole Lily Tino thing, what really pissed me off about that is that people like J.K. Rowling get a hold of that, and she called
Which
her,
she did.
which she did exactly. And then
Yeah.
if J.K. Rowling doesn't see that, don't you think that Trump's going to see that too, or somebody in his administration is going to see that, and then this, that, and whatever, and it sends the wrong message. And this is exactly what they think that trans is, and that's the
Right.
problem. And so now I'm trying to get myself more into a space where it's where Buck is. I'm trying to get into that space where Buck Angel is, where Blair White is, people like Caitlyn Jenner. I'm trying to get myself elevated to that space so that I
Mm-hmm.
could start advocating at a reasonable level where Lexi is a fucking household name. Everybody knows
Yeah.
who the fuck Buck Angel is. I knew who Buck Angel was when I was younger.
Oh, me too. The first time,
I
the
always thought he
first time I ever
transitioned to
saw
porn
him,
when I was a kid. I didn't know any better.
I see. I didn't know him from that. I knew him, and if he ever sees this, but like,
Oh, he'll watch it. Don't worry.
okay, so
He'll probably go back and watch it.
the first time I ever saw him was actually on a documentary, and I cannot remember the name of it. I know it was called like Sex Change something, like Sex Change Revolution or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but there was like four people in this documentary, and the people that stood out to me was him and a trans woman named Sarah. And I bet you maybe he knows what I'm talking about,
Of course he
but
does.
that is the very first time I ever saw him, and I was like, damn, he was born a woman. What the fuck? Like, because I was like, he looks so good.
He's fucking hot.
You know?
He's fucking hot. Let's face it. He's good looking.
Yeah.
I'd fucking do him. I'd do him.
But like, that's how I started doing my research and my information, being like, 13, 14 years old, and then being like, okay, mom, this is how I feel. Like, when her clothes started going missing, and she's like, what the fuck? I'm the only
See,
woman in this house.
I never
You know?
never put clothes on. When I moved in with my wife, I still had a lot of my girl clothes and even some of my shoes. I give away some of my best pairs of shoes, but I had some shoes even and clothes and shirts and whatever. And I gave all that stuff away when I moved with my wife. My wife's like, oh, you can wear, whatever you want, sweetie. It's no big deal. I know that you would transit, whatever, but I didn't want to. For me, it's not about the clothes. It was never about the clothes. For me, it was about living my authentic self. It was me being me. It was me having the hormones. It's got nothing to do with the clothes. I don't give a
Right.
crap about the fucking clothes. It's the hormones for me. The
Well,
clothes are just a bonus. Let's face it.
yeah,
But I don't
but
care
I
about the
felt
rest of
the
it.
reason I had clothes or wanted clothes was because I felt more comfortable in those clothes.
But
You
they're
know what I
just
mean?
fabric.
Well, I know, but to me, like that was not like wearing what I would always wear growing up. It just did not fit. I didn't like it.
No, I
You
can
know.
I can understand that. I can.
You know what
But
I mean? That's what I mean when it comes to like the clothes.
let
Obviously,
me
yes, I wanted hormones. I wanted long hair. I wanted to be
let me
thin,
ask you.
fit.
So when I started transitioning, right?
Mhm.
And I knew that I wanted bottom surgery, whatever. I bought gold panties, right? Panties that I said one day I'm going to be able to wear. Did you ever do that?
I have not. I have
I did.
not.
I bought gold panties. I'm like, there were these little string bikini things, like G strings, and
Mhm.
I don't wear G strings. I wear thongs, but I bought them to see if I can wear them, and I can actually wear them if I want to. And I still have them. I have a pair of pink ones and blue ones, and I bought them, and they're the cutest fucking things. But they were my gold panties, saying, okay, when I can wear these, I know I'm where I need to be in my transition. You know what I mean? And so
That
now, like, I have them, and I can wear them if I want to. I just don't because G strings were really uncomfortable. But I love
I've
my
heard.
thong. I do. Like, I wear thongs. I don't wear anything else but. I love my thongs. They are fucking great. Everybody's like, oh, it's like a fucking wedge up your ass. No, it's really not. You don't even notice it. If you wear the right underwear, you don't notice it. Like, I mean, I have a
Mm.
thong up my ass right now. You just don't notice it if it's the right clothing. But I don't wear regular panties. I used to when I was tucking. I used to,
Mm.
because it would hold everything. You know what I mean? But now, like, I wear a thong all fucking time. But I bought gold panties. I was just curious if anybody else had done that. So
I, that's actually really cool. I've never heard about that shit. Like
I bought them saying
that's why
one day I'll
again,
wear these.
I think these conversations are so important because like there's things that you've been talking to me about that I never knew, and I'm sure there's things that
I
I've been
almost want to.
telling
I
you that
almost
you
want to
never
run in the
knew.
house and grab them and show them to you. I still have them.
That's if you're what, an exclusive member or whatever,
No, I'm happy
maybe.
to show them off. I showed off my thongs the other night. It was fine. I don't give a shit. But it's like, it just, I didn't know if I was the only one that's ever done that. I said one day, and this is when I first started my transition. I said, one day I'm going to fit into these. One day I'll be able
That
to
is
wear these
cool.
and my junk's not going to fall out of them because I'm not going to have it to fall out of. And then I ended up detransitioning and I hung on to them regardless. I did. It hurt me to look at them every time,
Mm,
but I hung on to them nonetheless. And now I can wear them if I want to.
that is awesome. That's just so
Stupid
cool.
thing, right? Gold panties.
No, 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 no. I think that we should all have some kind of goal. It's like, if you have your goal panties and I have my goal of wanting to fuck, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I never thought I just want my goal was just to be in the skin that I felt I was comfortable in. Obviously, yes, bottom surgery is the,
Well, I mean,
the
that was the
main
ultimate
goal.
for me, obviously.
Yes.
It's funny too
Yes.
because I remember with my wife, we were talking about transition. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, you realize if I do this, that one day this thing is going to be,
Gone.
yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know. I know, Lexi, and I'm prepared for it, and okay, whatever. So yeah, I mean, I no longer have that fucking thing. It's great. I love it. It is what it is. I will tell you, it's a long healing process, Haley. I don't know if somebody's told you this,
Yeah.
but it's a
My
long
surgeon
healing
told me it's gonna
process.
be about I think my surgeon, if I remember, said it was like a minimum of 4 or 5 months
Well,
recovery.
well, it's going to be more than that. And here's why. So the outside is going to heal. Your vulva is going to heal. The inside parts are going to heal, but your pelvic floor is not going to heal right away. It's going to take you time for that. It took me a
Mm,
year before I was even comfortable with any sort of intercourse at all.
wow.
By the time my pelvic floor healed and it did no longer hurt. So
Mm.
keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged. It will eventually work.
Now let me ask you this, because like since we're talking about that, like the whole theory about like dilation and stuff, and people say, "Oh my god, it hurts." Like from your experience, like
It better not.
no?
If it hurts, there's something wrong.
Okay.
If it hurts, there's something wrong. It's not supposed to hurt to dilate, because all you're doing, I mean, it might hurt in the beginning because you're just, you're going from a smaller dilator to a larger dilator. I mean, that takes a little getting used to, but once you're there, it doesn't hurt anymore. The whole you have to dilate for your entire life thing is not true. At least for me, it's not. I haven't had to dilate in forever. I can't remember the last time I dilated, to be honest with you. And I still have 6.5, 7 inches, whatever it is, deep and without issue. I don't dilate very often at all these days, if any, for that matter. Matter of fact, I think the last time I dilated was, I think, just before I went to Costa Rica the last time. And I think I only did it just because I wanted to, you know. But you won't, like, there's no pleasure in dilation, just so you know. There's none. Everybody's like, oh, well, don't you get pleasure from it? Like, no. You sit there, you put this long tubular thing inside of you, and you let it sit there for 10 or 15 minutes, and then you move to the next one. Like, how's that
Now, now,
pleasurable?
now, do you do it like in intervals, like of 10 or 15, or like
So,
do you
so
do one size, then do the next size,
yeah, so you
or
need to
how's that work?
dilate. You're going to have to dilate a few times a day when you first start out. I dilated 3 times a day when I first started out, and I did that for like almost a year. And so when you start dilating, right, you'll dilate, you put your first dilator in for 10 or 15 minutes, whatever it is, and then the second one you'll insert immediately after, and you might get a third, but I wouldn't go to the third for a while. It took me a while before I ever went to the third size. But I only go up to like number two these days if I ever need to. I mean, I'm pretty stretchy, so I mean, you can whatever. But you leave them in there. I'm gonna tell you advice somebody, I wish somebody had given me. Take stock in condoms. This is gonna sound weird. Write. You get a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Write this down.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to write down what I'm gonna tell you. There's a lubricant out there called Slippery Stuff. You buy it on Amazon. It's no glycerin, no paraffins, so it doesn't leave residue inside your vagina. Right? Buy that stuff. It's worth it. It's like $30 for like a quart of it. It's worth it. Buy it. And then the other thing is take stock in condoms. I buy them online. I get like 100 condoms for like $20. And I put a condom over the dilator, and then I put lube on the condoms, and I do it that way. It makes it so it goes easy in, easy out.
Oh.
If you have the dilator itself, sometimes, especially when you're just healing, it's
Mhm.
gonna hurt to pull it out. So, because I tried doing it without the condoms, it's not comfortable to pull out. It feels like it gets stuck in there. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
use a condom. Make sure they're lubricated condoms, and make sure you put lube on them. Don't be afraid to use the lube. Do not be afraid to use it. I used to lube the shit out of them. Now I don't really, like I said, I don't dilate anymore, but I have everything I need by my bed should I ever fucking need it. I have a set of dilators, condoms, lube, whatever I need. But the slippery stuff is the best stuff you'll ever get. I recommend it
Okay.
because all the other stuff has like glycerin and paraffins and stuff in it, and it leaves a residue. And while the
Mm.
residue will come out, eventually you will have a little discharge here and there. I get very little discharge these days, but you will have a little here and a little there. Just make sure to, you're gonna want to douche once in a while in the beginning. And then eventually you'll develop your own pH and the things that you'll do. And I don't even douche anymore. So like I function regularly as a human. You know, your shit
Mhm.
will clean itself out. Believe me, you will develop your own flora and fauna, your own chemical pH balance, whatever. It'll all start to adjust on its own.
See, that's cool too. Like you talking, like sharing your experiences with that, like with other trans women, who like myself, who are getting ready to go through it or want that in the future. And you know, I think like when I see Buck's videos sometimes, and how
He
people
can
just
be very
shit on him
offensive.
all the
He
time,
can be very offensive to listen
because
to.
he calls people out and says how it is.
Hmm.
And it's like, dude, if you would just shut the fuck up and listen, like he's gone through more shit. Yeah, he's not transitioning in the way you and I are, but he's been transitioning for what he said he was like what six over 60
33
years,
years. He's
33
63 years
years.
old. He said, I think when he was 30.
Okay. So, yeah, that's still a long fucking time.
It is.
I'm 6, you're 5.
Long
I
way to
mean,
go.
yeah. So I mean, but even with the experiences that like you've been through with your bottom surgery, or
Learned
the
a
things
lot.
I've been through with my transition and the steps I've taken, you know, um, people don't understand like it's not just like clothes, sex, and all that shit that people think it is. Like there's a whole nother side to us other than just
There's
we
the
look
living.
like this or we present ourselves. Like there's a reason we got here. There's like steps that we've taken and there's stories that go along with where we are at now because of, you know, where we were before and uh and where we are now.
Yep, I'm just sick
So,
and tired of it. So now I'm at the point
yeah.
where I'm speaking about it, and I don't care who I offend anymore. I'm just after 5 years of transition, just about I've about had it with all the fake people out there, and it's time for me to speak out and say something. It's time to speak about it. So we
And
need to
I
do this again, though, for sure. I gotta let you
Oh
go, but
yeah.
we got to do this
100%.
again, for fucking sure. Maybe next
Oh
week we
yeah.
can pick this conversation up and keep chatting. What do you think? Now that we know
Yeah,
what
I'm
we got
cool
to
with
do to
that.
set it all up, it's not
Yeah.
too hard to set up once we get it going. But I think we need to do this
Right.
again, and we'll pick up the
For
episode
sure.
next week. Maybe we should do a weekly thing. Who knows?
I mean, I'm down as long as we, as long as we can work with our schedules. I mean, I'm pretty free,
I'm very
so
well. I mean, I work from home, so I'm very flexible. So I
yeah.
can work around yours, whatever. As long as it's on a day off, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, rather, I'm good to go. I
Yeah.
can work my walking schedule and all that around all of this. Doesn't matter. So, but we'll do this
Well,
again.
make sure everyone follow Lexi on all social media platforms. Follow me too.
Yep, vice versa.
And,
Absolutely.
you know,
Haley
um,
Renee 2 on every platform. Renee's with two
yep,
N's, just so everybody knows.
yep, yep.
I'll
And
put the link in YouTube anyway. So
yeah, me too. I'll put your links in there too. So, but thank you, Lexi.
no,
I love your
thanks.
face, girl. This
Uh,
is awesome. This
Girl,
is
this is a
fucking
whole lot of
awesome.
fun to have. I mean, we were 2 hours and 15 minutes, so absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I could probably talk to you for another 3 hours, for Christ's sakes, but
Same.
I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
TikTok and all that stuff. So I will talk to you
All
later.
right.
Thanks everybody
Yep.
for watching. We'll see you guys all later. Haley, we'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Have a great day, sweetie.
You too.
Well, I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun for me to do. And, we're going to try to do this a weekly thing here and have a podcast every single week where you can just catch up with Haley and I and see what we're talking about this week. And, I hope you guys, follow Haley, of course. And it was great to see you guys. So I hope you enjoyed the interview or whatever, podcast, whatever you want to call it. We'll be doing this every week for the upcoming weeks. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget to follow. Check us out on TikTok. You can find me at Just a Girl Lexi on TikTok, and you can find Haley at Haley Renee 2. And I'll put the links in the YouTube video down below. Thanks for joining us, guys. Bye.